Okay, you're not.
All right, so it's the lovely Saturday morning, August 16th. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna get going on these final budget hearings and start working through some of these budget questions. We put together kind of a snapshot that we can put up on the board for what each department's requesting and kind of where it would come out of, along with what our 2026 expected revenue is. At the end of the day, general funds, about the request is $3 million over what we'll bring in right now. So there's definitely going to have to be some hard decisions made there. Lit public safety's pretty close. I think we could probably make that work with some minor adjustments. The lit special purpose is not. It's more than double what we bring in. And so the jail expenses are way outside of where we can be, just looking at it right now. So it's kind of where we're starting and how we're gonna go through these, I guess, and hopefully back it down some. But I give everybody a packet this morning of the expected revenue, which is this, and that's from Baker Tilly. Let us know kind of where we're all looking and what fund for 26, and it's on track with where we've been kind of. I wish I had 24 receipts. I don't know why it was so high, but that was a nice year apparently.
I think it was a change in assessment value, wasn't it?
That one it was, the 24.
Well, assessments
Yes.
continue to go up, and then,
That did make a big difference.
are you guys on like a 2-year rotation for the, I should ask the assessor, like, you reassess like a third every year, or, you know?
I didn't think it was quite that soon, but I'm not sure. I'm thinking.
It could have been a
I don't know,
reassessment year,
I'm not
or,
sure.
Cause that one reassessment fund is like the 2015 reassessment. Why does it always say 2015? Don't know. I always wondered that, but, so anyway, we're short of what we brought in last year, and I mean, we understand, or this year, this current 25, we're about $500,000 short in the general fund, and as you look through these, all of them are down a little bit. You know, almost 100,000 in special purpose, which is the jail one that is, he's wanting 2 million more than what we bring in. The Cume Bridge is down 30,000. Cume Cap Development is down about 6,000. I mean, it's just, everything's down a little bit, so gonna have to figure this out, and it isn't gonna be easy to make some of these cuts or make some of these decisions moving through this, but that's kind of where we're at. This morning, we've only got the treasurer at
and
10 o'clock, and then the EMA 911 at 11 o'clock. So other than that, we can use the time to start looking. And
Commissioners, if you want.
okay, we can do those and start working through some of these other budgets. But which one do you want to do first, the
What do you
commissioner
mind?
or your auditor?
Hey.
Hey,
hey, you guys,
Where we at again?
where we at?
Auditor.
I'm starting to spread out like last.
oh God, it's gonna be
Here we
one of them
go.
days I'm gonna have to keep him in line.
I had a message. I can't find my message. Please your case, Jennifer.
All right, well, we put in a 10% raise for all the employees, just like we were asked, that's what's advertised. In there, I'm gonna say the part-time, we have not used it. I know we're at risk of having that taken away. Our problem is, we could definitely use a part-time person. And where Diane said something about the floater, that could help, not just myself, but others. It's just that currently, our part-time pay is under $12 an hour. And it's hard to find people who are interested in working that, and it just takes a level of people working the courthouse. You need to find somebody who can remain confidentiality and that kind of thing, that it's kind of hard to find that. And I wonder if you could raise the part-time pay to make it a decent, how many jobs we could. Not force anybody out, but possibly when people leave, bring them back in with a part-time person. Some people who are retired and are coming back are wonderful employees. They want a little something to do, but not the everyday stress of a full-time job. And I know other courthouses in other counties do this. I just think if we could get that part-time pay where it's a little bit more attractive to people, it'd be easy to find people who would help take the load off.
Let me ask you this, could we change the hourly rate but keep the overall bottom line the same? Would it lower it too much?
Lower the hours that you
It would
have.
I
lower
would lower the hours, which I'm not using anyone anyway because of that, but I mean, some of you walked over and saw, we've got documents that need to be scanned. There is a lot of work like that just needs to be done. And like I said, then if I had that person, if it came down to where somebody, especially if it's scheduled, I mean, if you're sick, you may not be able to do that. But if the treasurer needed help or something like that, we've got an extra person, we could sit down and say, hey, I need you in that office to cover them while they're gone. So it's not just for my office, but this other.
More of a roving employee.
She's
Kind of.
part-time at the clerk employee.
So
That's,
So what rate would you think would be more fair to move to?
$16 or $18 an hour. I almost think that it should be almost commensurate with what our full-time people make, but then there's just not the benefits package. And if you heard, we have, one thing that the county does well for our employees, we have a good benefits package compared to other counties.
Right.
So that's something, I mean, I don't want to say, oh, take that away, but at the same time, where a lot of our people aren't making great money at their hourly rate.
Yeah.
The overall package is not horrible because of our benefits. And then we have, we have a very generous, personal time off and those things. So we had those things going for us. And that's just what I'm saying. If we could find people who are possibly retired and want to come in, it would help us and maybe help cut our budget a little bit without taking away from our full-time people that we have.
We're talking 35 hours a week, 7-hour days,
Well, that's what our full-time
Full-time
people
is.
work.
7.
7 hours a day.
Yeah.
So,
So what is it? You gotta go over amount where you come full.
28, isn't it?
32 hours, what is
It's 28 on a 35 week, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's a 28. That seems a little low. I thought it was a little higher than that. I'm not certain on that. I can check with Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy and find out.
it? I'm only asking if that's the case, we can make, maybe this wouldn't work, maybe a 4-hour week or 4-day week rather than
Them
5.
are
That's
nice.
it. Or
Them are
like,
nice. Let me just tell you, them are nice.
if you did something, and like I said, or at certain times, I know the treasurer right now utilizes someone during tax time and things like that. I think there's more we could do.
Mhm.
And Sarah was talking about in their quarters office, they utilize part-time people and
Fewer than 35 per week is what the IRS defines as a full-time
Okay,
employee.
that's-
So 35, they
Fewer-
could work 7
You
days,
could almost
Thirty.
or
work
5 days a week.
technically
You
your
you could
full-time.
almost work somebody full-time. And the thing is, I would like to have the flexibility so that, because in the summer, when you've got people, and some of my girls now are getting some time, so they've got a lot of time
30
off.
hours or more.
It's a little stretch to cover that. I mean, you try to plan your
30 days,
vacations,
yeah.
but you can't plan somebody being sick or if their kid's sick or emergencies that come up. And, I think here in the courthouse, we all struggle with that just a little bit to
So in the
plan our time.
in.gov, it says an employee who regularly works 30 hours or more per week is defined as a full-time. So I guess
So that's probably.
Indiana's a little more restrictive than the
the
federal.
government.
Federal's 35, Indiana's 30.
So it's regularly, so if they work,
If they had a week where they had to work a little bit over, but the average is less than 30, and we can average it. then
You would need to watch and see, and I'm sure with our budget, the finances will watch as
Right.
close as anything else. But that's just, I think that can be the one thing that not just helps my office, but would help.
You might get a high schooler to come in the summer for $11 an hour, but you're not getting, yeah.
but you
You
could
do
do 4
internships.
days a week.
You
I
could
don't know
do,
if that would be enough or not.
as long as it's 30 hours, you could
30
do 5
hours
days a week, but they only work 6 hours a day or something, I mean, it doesn't matter the days, just the total hours, so.
Might be 35.
We were talking about gateway.
No, if you work
I'm not as good on that. Where,
35.
I can look up budgets,
No,
but
Mine is where I go
Hours a
in
day,
and I can pull it
5
off.
hours,
It's
or 5
where I
days a
put
week.
the
You don't
initials
work
and things
6-hour
in.
days?
It'll
how
show.
do
No,
we
they're not,
find
but a
it?
part-time person
You have
doesn't
to be
work all
logged
day
in
to
to
do
do it.
work. We're talking about
I don't have
part-time.
a login.
You got a
Yeah,
part-time,
you'll have
5
to
days a
know,
week,
but I
you're
thought-
doing 5 or less hours a week.
I know, I thought we were talking
I don't think I do.
5 days a week and they wanted less than 30 hours.
Yes.
Well, we're 7 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah, that's 35 hours. You have to work 6 or less hours a day, 5 days. So
Indiana say 30 full time.
you have to work 6
And
hours.
it's regularly 30, that's what it was stated, right?
Yes.
So I mean, if you had a week where they worked, say if you knew somebody was out and said, hey, can you come in and work this week 35 in our 2-week pay period, as long as they didn't work 35s in a row, that should keep you under that.
And then that where we got in trouble with the sheriff's office because they were working, part-time people were working regularly more than 30 hours a week. You just have to watch it, but your budget's gonna watch it if you
That's
only
what I'm
got,
saying, the budget will watch it way before.
$16 an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't let me forget to bring up the jury.
Does this,
thing.
does that look right? How
Yeah,
would be
that's probably
other,
what you need to do.
the Department of Local Government Finance I answer to, and the State Board of Accounts?
Oh, I thought you already had a login.
I don't guess.
I don't know. I probably should.
I think on a part-time basis, if you're going to hire somebody, if somebody's gonna come in and do that, if you had a set time, like 4 hours a day for 5 days a week, then they know what they're gonna do in that 4 hours. If you start changing their schedules, it's gonna be hard for somebody to come in and do that.
I agree with you, I agree with you. The only thing is, I think if you knew ahead of time that you're gonna have a vacation that you
Oh,
need to cover,
Then they can come in and do
Yes.
that, so then that would help. Then that way you keep them way under the 30 hours, could be 20 hours a week, so.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I'm just,
I don't give a crap. Call me.
that's just what I would.
I don't wanna talk to you, I'll ignore you.
You're not talking to now.
She said, don't put my phone number up there. I said, I
I'd say everybody on the owl there's gonna have your password and everything else.
come on, nah,
No, it'll block it out, I think.
go ahead. I don't think, you don't get no password, they gotta send it to you, so.
I don't think you're gonna get one, but.
I think
Jennifer can log in.
they notify you that I'm asking too, don't they? Cause we got a notification that somebody tried this a while back.
Could you bring up the report you were talking about that showed
I
us?
can,
what's
but it
in-
doesn't have its stuff from Tuesday in yet.
Okay. Well,
Alright.
we have the stuff from Tuesday, so I don't have them yet.
Pretty good at that.
We
But I
got
can
some.
get it for you Friday if you want that.
So Jennifer, it looks like your budget's all the same, except you asked for a little bit of increase in professional services.
Which you
Yeah,
haven't used any of
Because,
that.
Salary.
with the way things are in the county, I think we're all gonna need more legal help than
Well,
more.
you haven't used any of what you got.
Okay, on the professional services, there's a mistake on there. I think that's 6,000. And that was the one, we had money, I can't remember last year. We had 6,000 left from something and we moved it in professional services to purchase Darren Bates' excise tax program. It was one bill at $6,000. We paid that check. We sent that check December 20th. It got lost in the mail. He did not receive it until February 20th. We had stopped payment. We came back and asked for an additional appropriation, and I didn't catch it till we printed this up. Mandy has paid that, I believe, out of the commissioner's professional services. So we can make a claim adjustment and take it out of here, or we can let that revert back. I'm not,
I'd say just let it revert.
I mean, it's there. We haven't used it. Like I said, I wasn't watching this close enough and watching other budgets instead of mine. And I didn't see that till it was printed out. I'm like, oh crap. So that's where that's been.
I assume all of Mr. Hainsford's fees for the mandate action came out of council?
No, that came out of commissioner's professional services.
So you didn't pay anything out of your professional services for Hainsford? But then we
No.
might have more bills this year that we could
Yeah.
use that I guess that's my point.
Oh,
That 6,000's there that Mr. Hainsford, if we run short on, we should be splitting his bills 3 ways because there's 3 defendants in that
Okay.
case. So the commissioners paid some, we haven't paid any, you haven't paid any, you have 6,000 available.
Right.
So we could use that for Mr. Hainsford if we need to, because we're still gonna have
What's
stuff to do with him.
the software? Is that like an end of year contract?
Was that the 9,000?
95, 30?
That is ClearGov. And we can take that out. We are pretty much deciding not to use that. we've had some problems with that. That's not turned out to be what we thought. I know when Deandra was here, we thought it was great. Before she left, she was kind of like, they're not matching up with our WOW, so it takes so much to convert our numbers, to get them in their system, then you gotta do it every year. It's probably more trouble than it's worth.
So we can
And
remove
with
the software
having-
line?
I think we can let that go.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Look at that, Johnny, you're getting to cut something.
Cut.
I didn't even try on that.
Right.
So we're leaving professional services the same, just leaving 10,000.
Well, she's asked for an increase from last year. We haven't really made a decision on it, because she's asking for more. Last year, she had $6,000 in there. She's asking for 10. She said she expects probably legal fees, but I don't know that we're, especially if we're paying them a third, because that action, I don't expect to get sued again. Do you? Do you know something we don't? You just wanna make sure you have it.
In the county, yep.
Got it, okay.
I think everybody's lawyered up these days.
Not on my dime, they're not. I'm a no.
I think it's pretty sad it has to even be a conversation.
Isn't
Yeah.
that sickening? Yes,
Pretty sad.
yes, I agree.
Anything
I'll
else?
talk to my lawyer about that.
Yeah. So there's where I'm at, guys.
Alright. The, part-time that she talked about, I mean, I think that's probably, I guess my question is, and we have the ability, I think, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but to set part-time for each office. Because according to our commissioners, we've determined or deemed this year that for without a doubt, elected officials run their own office. They're not part of the county's handbook. She's responsible for her people. So I don't see any reason why she doesn't determine our fair rate of her part-time. And then if someone else wants one, we work through it. But if you say we're taking every part-time in the county to whatever it is, I mean,
You can bet they'll be asked.
So if you went to so you requested $4,444, and this is math, so you might want to check me. $4,444, if you did $16 an hour, that would give you somebody 277.75 hours in a year. So if you divided by that by 52 weeks, you would get somebody a little, like 55 and a third weeks a year. So, I mean, that's what, 735, about 36 days, 37 days of a worker. But you could pay them more and probably get somebody in there that you wouldn't have to train as much and probably has some technological skills. But interns too are a good way to go, but still, they're gonna want
'cause like,
$16 an hour.
Yeah.
like
All I had to go on is my
the clerk's
personal, all the
office
girls were in it.
yesterday did her budget, and then here it says part-time staff 1306 at 28 hours.
Well, that 1306 would be your 1178 times 10%.
Is what
So
that
she's
is.
just taking because right now, to my knowledge, everyone in the courthouse that's part-time is paid I think it's 1187.
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
And like our two cemetery mowers that we'll discuss in the commissioner's budget, that's their pay,
Under $12.
under $12, yeah. But that
I was looking
number
to
is
see
your
if we had
1306, and you take that times 10%.
I guess the first hurdle is, does everybody want to say we're setting a part-time rate for the entire county?
I think each department needs to myself,
It's kind of how I feel about it, is each department's a little bit different.
because you can't tell me
That's
the
gonna,
intensity of her office is more intense than what a lawnmower guy operator is.
Or highway,
Yeah, I'm not trying to demean any person as far as that goes. I'm just saying the quality of person you have to have for EMS to be to work on EMS and work in the auditor's office is different than a laborer.
and they're drastically different. I mean, a
That's
basic,
what I mean. I'm going from
Yeah,
one extreme to
no,
the other, but you
I got
understand
it.
what I'm saying.
well, the advisory and building plan commissioner has their part-time rate at $18.39, but the clerk has $11.87. The auditor has $11.87.
I think
So everything-
911's part-time is different too,
Part-time replacement dispatcher, $19.79.
which is the same thing.
So it looks like they're
regular.
doing-
Already-
It's already different.
It's all over the place.
Cause your
I
highway
think-
part-time or.
Yeah, no, I agree.
20
with it.
something.
There is different levels.
And I'm not.
So Jennifer, what-
However, I do think.
16 to
$11, I
18
don't think
is what
it'd
you
be
would
higher
then pay
than
somebody
that.
else.
I mean, even a
I-
kid,
I
if you go out here to a local
because you-
fast food restaurant, it makes
Fifteen.
$3-4 more than that.
So I think 16 probably.
So I think that is
I think it's
extremely low.
low, but
It needs
still
to be
it's
addressed.
government work,
Right.
you know, it's easy.
No, I agree completely. I just think
Motor rolls.
it's not,
It's not.
I don't even like the whole, we're gonna give everybody
I think
this
that's right.
percent
It's
raise,
in line
like,
with
everything in this county is,
Not really comparable
and we've
to us.
talked about this, this is literally managing multiple different departments, and I think we are gonna have to accept the fact to get into, she's her own department. Everybody comes in here as their own department.
If the commissioner says, hey, we just want you guys to do one rate, it doesn't affect the office holders, just what is in their purview. So and I don't see that on the salary ordinance. I think every department, whether it's a
Setting their own.
constitutional statutory office holder or a department of the commissioners, is just setting their own rate, it looks like. And I don't know why you and the clerk both set yours at the same, or if that was a decision
That
earlier,
was
but
just what
It's what
was
was there,
handed to
I think.
us,
I think-
and that's why we're saying, I feel like my hands are tied with that, because I'm just not, I mean, even high school kids don't wanna come in for that, they know someone.
Well, and I think-
Well, they're the last one wanna come.
I
in.
think
You know, they don't wanna.
you're budgeting, so Jennifer, you're budgeting $4,444. I don't really think it's up to us to tell, I mean, we have to put it in the salary ordinance, obviously, but whether you pay that at 16 or 18 hours, that's what you got, $4,000, right? So you're just gonna get less hours if you pay someone more. We just have to know I mean, we care about the bottom line budget. We don't really care what you're paying them an hour, other than we gotta put in the salary ordinance, right?
How many hours is that, Heather, what'd you say on that?
If you did, $16 an hour, that $4,000 would give her 277.75 hours. So about 5 1/3 weeks of having an employee, so 7 times 5 is 35, right? So probably 37 days, 38 days, maybe.
Look at you go with that math.
Oh my God, good thing I got a good night's sleep last night, so.
And I mean, I wouldn't even be opposed to taking something and moving that line a little bit if it needs a different number of hours. But I think each office holder is gonna have to tell
Let
us.
me ask you a question. Could you take, like, the legal services or professional services and take that,
Some of that.
and then move that, make that more to like closer to a $10,000 part-time, and then have her more hours, be able to hire somebody. I mean, you move stuff around in your budget to make that more attractive to hire somebody part-time. To me, that makes better sense. Instead of saying, hey, we're just gonna cut this and cut this.
Right, to make,
part-time.
I mean, to make your office more
That way
efficient.
there, if you're close to $10,000, then you pay somebody $16 an hour to come in. That's gonna give you more time for them to come here and work.
To have somebody
So,
20 hours a week would be 1,040 hours in a year. If you
Yeah.
wanted to pay them $16, you would need 16,640. So obviously you're gonna have to do like probably
Yeah.
way less than that, right?
even if you offer somebody $15 an hour to come in and have, close to 10,000 in your part-time, that's gonna make it more attractive
Yeah.
to get people in here.
But I think you could easily, what you're saying is like, even in the 25 year, you can move the 6 up there and your bottom line stays the same.
I think you're better off doing that in your budget session, because then you have to do the salary ordinance.
Right.
And if you can't just say,
Yeah.
let's say we get to June and we say, oh, we're gonna transfer $6,000 of that 10,000 professional service because we didn't need it. Well, then you're gonna have to not just move that into part-time, you're gonna have to update the salary ordinance. So I think it's really, Jennifer needs to tell you what to do. Do you wanna add, 10,444 and take your professional services down to like 4,000 for now? So that you can get more on that part-time?
That would be nice.
Yeah,
So-
That would be much nicer.
So 4,000 down on professional services and take the part-time up to 10,444. Does that sound good?
Yes.
To me, that helps you out more, I would
I
think.
think, I'm still struggling a little bit with how, because I'm not sure and I mean, I'm sure we're elected officials, but I can't come here and say, I'm gonna pay all my girls out here $25 an hour. Can we do that? I think we almost need something in line in our handbook about how we're paying, or
Well,
how we're paying our
But the handbook
part-time.
don't apply to you.
the
is
handbook
what they
doesn't apply
said.
to you. You can come up with your own handbook
That's
As
what
an
the
elected
commissioners have
official.
said, is the county handbook doesn't apply to your office.
Well, I don't think the county said, I mean, I think the commissioners have said that, but I think it's just in line with the law. They don't have it. It's sort of like the president of the United States. He only has over the executive branch. He can't tell a congressman what to pay their staff. That congressman chooses what to pay it. So you're not really subject to the handbook. So if you want to make your own handbook for the auditor's office, otherwise it's just sort of what the elected official says goes.
Or you can adopt a county handbook.
Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, you can say everybody in my office is gonna abide by the county handbook.
I mean,
Like what Jason Mountain did and wished he hadn't.
He says did.
I don't know if he did or didn't.
I don't know.
But
Alright.
all I know is he
So
did that match, a different story.
Yeah,
I
He
think,
wished he hadn't.
I mean, all I know is you ultimately control your office and the employees therein.
Yes.
They are county employees, they're paid by the county, but you control them. And I mean, I wish, as far as our side of things, it would make life a lot easier just to say, here's your budget for personnel, figure it out. But I don't know that we have that right to do that. But that would definitely change things from a council perspective, because that's the biggest expense we have is personnel and figuring out how to budget them. But yet, for me, I kind of feel like it's overstepping an elected official's authority a little bit, because like you said, if you deem you want to pay Kinley 25, but then there's somebody in your office that you think makes 16.
so that's for her to, I mean, it is still within our purview because we have to budget it and do
I
the
think
salary
so,
ordinance.
too.
But she, you're right,
I
if
agree.
she thinks, I mean, it's not up to us to tell you Kinley's not worth $25 an hour. I mean, I think if you.
And I
think
have
that's
no
what
idea
she's
what you
worth.
make, Kinley, you may make.
There's
more
a
than that,
difference
but I'm
between us,
just saying.
right, there's a
She's
difference
over there.
between us saying she's
Yes.
not worth, there's a difference between us saying she's not worth $25 an hour and we can't afford $25 an hour. That's. a
I
big
agree with that
Am I getting
completely.
this right? You thinking she can set the salary within whatever the total number of money we give her?
That's what I'm
The
asking.
hourly
That
rate,
doesn't sound right to me.
the hourly rate? No,
It
she
seems to
can't.
me like that would be our job to do
As
that,
a-
because if we start letting her do it in her office, the recorder's gonna wanna, I mean, it just
And
doesn't
they're-
make sense to me.
John, they're elected officials.
I know
They're
they're elected
statutory or
officials, but they are,
constitutional.
we
can't tell them.
control their money though.
Yeah, we can say, we can't afford to pay somebody $60,000 a year, you're gonna have to take down their hourly rate.
I can't agree with this one.
Well, I mean,
As
there's no
sheriff,
different
did you
than
not
what the
set your
sheriff did.
officers?
Do what?
There's no difference in what the sheriff did.
Yeah, and I don't agree with that.
I don't either. I had to agree to it for a court order,
I'm just
but
saying that we start letting one office do it, they're gonna do it everywhere, and I would not agree with that, because the salaries are gonna go up, and then we're gonna be sitting there trying to figure out how to keep up with it. I
Well, we
think,
don't-
I think it's our job to set the
John,
salaries.
we
We
don't,
give them a budget though, and
I
then
know
they
we
have
get them
to,
a budget.
and then
I
they
know.
have to,
John, we don't set, we're not saying we're not gonna set the budget, we're not, they can't
But
come
we
in and
set
say
the
we're not.
salaries,
They set the total
Correct.
amount, which is what cost me a
Correct.
person
and I
last
think
year.
if we
They
don't
took
set the
person
salary,
away.
we're setting ourselves up for
We
disaster.
have to set the salary, I don't think that's what we're saying, I
Well,
think
they're
we're
saying
talking
that they
past
can
each
do
other.
whatever they want within their certain, I don't agree with that, but anyway,
I'm just saying
not to
there's-
argue about it. I think-
there's a lot of
There's no
things in
policy
county
that says the
government I don't
part-time
agree
rate
with.
has to be $11.78 an hour. There's no, there, I mean, unless you guys say we're just paying, we're not gonna pay more than $11.78 an hour for part-time.
Well, all
I don't think
remember
you're
is
gonna
when
get
I
anybody,
first came in office, we needed Teresa Van Arsdale to come back and help finish up the year. And we had to come to the council to ask for an increase over the $11.78 for her to be able to come in and do that. That we were forced to come to the council to do that.
I mean, yeah, I think that you guys can ask for whatever you want. It's not our job to say that what's reasonable or not in your office, but we obviously can still say, we can't afford that.
We
Or
can't
that's
afford,
too absorbent. I
we
mean,
can't afford a lot of things, but here we are.
I don't think we can just let you turn it any way you want in your budget either. I just don't think that's correct. I'm sorry.
well, we're not. They're asking, they can ask for whatever they
They
want.
can ask, but that's not what we originally were saying.
Correct. You have the right to say, no, we're not gonna pay $16 an hour for your part-time. But she has the right to ask for it. She has the right to pay
I
somebody.
totally agree with
if it's
that.
within her
That's what we're
budget.
doing today.
Then I don't
We're
know.
talking past each other or something.
I don't know what the answer to this is, but it's definitely, you know,
Well,
getting,
that's what I'm saying, and I understand what John said, we've already got levels of different, because I'm not sure what the EMS driver makes, there's like a casual driver that they have.
yeah,
I'm thinking, it might be around $12.50, I'm not sure. I know they were looking at it, never was implemented.
right.
A part-time driver for veteran
remember
services, it was gonna be $17 an hour. So I'm almost thinking if we're gonna make classes like that, maybe at a part-time, we say, these kind of drivers at this level make this. If they got a CDL, they make this, you know. Office help makes this. I don't know, but that's where we've been in the past. If we don't have to, but-
What we gotta do and go from
But
there.
the commissioners can set those and they don't affect you though, it's what I think I'm trying to get across. The commissioners set that and say a CDL makes this or that might affect the people, the departments under the commissioners. Doesn't affect you at all unless you adopt their policy.
Cause I guess, I mean, I don't know, from a first responder standpoint, I have a hard time believing that a person coming in here, answering a phone, taking messages or whatever
Yeah.
is the same as a part-time person across the street answering 911 calls. It has to be EMD certified, IDAC certified, hold all these certifications, and be on the phone with somebody who in a crisis, they can't just say, let me put you on hold and wait on a full-time. If you answer it, you're stuck. You have to do it. And I just don't know that the current commissioner board we have has the ability to say, yeah, I understand that, and that's how much that person should make, or that's how much this person should make. I almost think you know your department, you know what it takes. If you're part-time, you know what you're gonna request of a part-time. You put out a number and we either agree to it or we don't.
There you go.
Well, if we're gonna get back to the point where trusting department heads and, elected officials to run that will be better. I mean, that's what should be.
And I
So,
think that's what we have to do.
Okay.
Whatever's gonna make your department run better is what I'm for. I will tell you, my vote is not to hire a bunch of different attorneys for every department in this office. I will not hold my hand up for that. If you get yourself into legal trouble and need an attorney, you either have to figure it out or come explain it in front of a crowd, because I can't sit here and spend county tax dollars on a bunch of different attorneys. That's not fiscally responsible, in my opinion. And that's my personal opinion. So, and it's not a dig at you, it's everybody in here,
Listen,
because
I was pulled into one.
I know.
I was right in the middle of one here. I'm not sure it was my actions that got us there, so.
And the
Yeah.
council and commissioners, you've had an attorney that came out of commissioners.
I mean, in all honesty, I don't expect,
Actually, that's not the case. The council had an attorney, the commissioners had an attorney. I did not. There were a lot of
Everybody in
these
the room had
things.
an attorney, but you there for a while.
Mhm.
but in,
Jeff Hansford doesn't represent you?
He represented the group.
He represented.
But-
you're
And
listed as a defendant though.
Huh?
You're listed
He
as,
represented you, us.
So why are we paying her if we're paying Jeffrey Hansford for
He's
you guys?
litigation counsel.
Mhm.
because
I'm not
technically
litigation
her
counsel.
responsibility is to keep us in line with like state law on moving and transfers and things like that. Not really to keep like a lawsuit or a litigation. I think that's where the county enters
Same with like
into.
Bo.
Bo,
We have Zach and we have me, but Bo's our bond counsel because we're sort of, Zach and I are sort of general counsel is what they're called. Same thing, I have corporations that I'm general counsel for, but we have a litigation attorney, we have bond counsel, we have HR counsel, so.
well, we're all of different backgrounds at this table, and nobody here is a expert on how to transfer money within government. And so that's why I think you hire someone who is on it, or that's their job to figure it out.
I mean, some counties do have a full county attorney. Sometimes I think Zach gets used as the county
Yeah.
attorney, but when a department head or a statutory office holder, or a constitutional office holder is in conflict with the commissioners, then Zach has an ethical conflict, so he can't really do that unless, I'm not sure how, in talking with counties that have county attorneys, I always say, well, who do you really represent? Well, the commissioners, okay, but what happens if there's a conflict? Well, I always go with the commissioners. I don't know, from an ethical standpoint, to me as an attorney, I don't think that's right, because once somebody has a conflict with one of my clients that I represent both of them, I think they both have to get different counsel. But some counties do have it. We don't have I mean, if they would pay just one attorney for everybody to sort of go to, but I think Zach's used as a catch-all right now. And I think that puts him in a bad position.
Yes, it does.
On, your longevity, is it still good? I know
Yes.
you got a few people, they're not anybody gaining.
Not that I'm aware
Tiers
of.
in
I
it.
think we're good on that one.
Okay. I
On
think,
the attorney thing, I'd like to use the association as much as possible.
Mhm.
But, if it ever got into a legal thing, I don't think we can stop you from getting an attorney.
I think you're right on that.
No, I don't think so. I just
we can
think,
stop anybody.
I don't think
Well, I
we,
mean, and us pay for it.
nor would I try to stop
But I
you.
think
I just
most
think we would
attorneys
have to do an additional
handle it
appropriation for
like that.
professional services at that point. And, I mean, that's what I said by coming to the crowd, is we would have to appropriate money for it.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, my personal opinion, I think all taxpayers in the county should know that there's so much bannering and attacks going on, that this is a topic.
Exactly.
it's horrible.
It's sad.
It really is.
And the council and the commissioners are really the only ones that have regular attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's traditional in most counties. I mean, a lot of times, coroner's office, for example, this is the first year that I've had a coroner come to me and say, can you represent me? Because coroners usually, and most office holders, auditors, Diana doesn't have if Floyd County doesn't have just one study attorney, she calls the county attorney if there's an issue, and he either says, I need you to go to somebody else, and refers her if there's a conflict, or he answers her question. So what I see generally in most counties, Floyd, Washington, Scott, is that the office holder doesn't really have one certain attorney, it's as needed. Whereas the council and the commissioners probably need one attorney like all the time, because they're doing stuff daily, you're doing stuff daily, but it doesn't involve, you know, the kind of things that the commissioners and the council involve.
Well, and ultimately you have I think the umbrella to say, no, I don't feel comfortable with this transfer or whatever. I can put it on or get a hold of me if I'm doing the agenda, whatever, and put it on the council agenda. Cause you're not required by any means to transfer something you don't feel comfortable with. I mean, you can always say no, you know, just because you currently have that right, it's not a duty to transfer for them. If, you know, one department comes up here every week
Says
wanting
you
to
know,
transfer
not check.
100, yeah, and you want to, I think you have that right to do it within like lines within the same fund. But outside of that, I mean, feel free to always put them here and tell them they need to come in here and explain it. Because like we've told everybody that's came in here, we're trying really hard to make sure these budget lines are correct, so that doesn't have to happen for you doing it, for us doing it, for anybody. It just, you know, things come up. I understand that. I'm not saying they don't, but it shouldn't be putting you on the spot, telling you to do it, or, hey, I went and spent this money, now I need you to transfer it. I just tell them no. If you spent the money and didn't have it, you need to go see the council and let them do it. And
Well, I
that,
think Zach's
you know,
been pretty good too about
that'll keep
any office holder who calls and helping them. But it becomes cumbersome from him because, and there could be conflicts, you know? But I think always, you know, if you need something, always feel free to call Zach or I, and if we can't answer it, or I feel ethically like it's gonna put me at odds with my client, then I'm gonna tell you, you probably need to go get your own attorney. I don't think anybody's gonna have to stop you. I think actually, I have to look at your statute, but there are some office holders that it's statute, it says they may hire an attorney if they need it. So I don't think anybody can keep you from hiring them.
All right.
Just my opinion.
Anything else on her budget? I think everything else is pretty straightforward. We don't need to change the longevity. She said office supply stays the same. Postage staying the same.
Can you not wash the paper and take the numbers off and reuse it?
The
Well,
equipment.
to that point, yeah.
So you're doing double-sided.
It would be a legal issue as well, and that's where we'll really need these attorneys.
Well, if you microfilm it, then you have enough paper left over.
You don't make microfilms anymore, John.
Whatever,
You
talk
scan it.
about putting on the scanner or whatever.
What's the other one do you want to do?
The commissioners.
Jennifer, would you allow Kenley to make that report out of Gateway and then just make me copies of what we
Yeah, we can
passed?
do that.
And then I'll just figure
I
out.
want to get it updated before we do, so.
Well, I think that before they can budget anything, they're gonna have to know what's left in those funds today.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't mind figuring out what we passed Tuesday and not. And then, can I address my conversation with Michelle last night real quick before we go on to commissioners?
She just texted me.
Remind you that.
She just texted me wanting to know if I go to her office. I'm like, I can't. I'm on the live feed in the middle of budget, so I can't go down there.
Well, I did have a talk with the clerk last night, Michelle Shelton. She wanted to just make sure that she was clear. I think she had watched the budget hearings about the whole postage and the jury. I do still have some questions about why we're doing juries away, but that's up to Judge Matt how he wants to do them. She said that they did have one actual trial go to jury, but, or one actual jury go to trial, But what she wanted, didn't think came across when Judge Mount talked was that they had to pull 4 different jury pools. So every time you pull a jury pool, it says, hey, we need to pull the jury because we got a jury trial set. And it hasn't settled. It looks like it's going. So she had to do the work and the postage
Maybe, I'm looking.
those 4 times. But 3 of those cases settled like the day before for plea bargains. But she still had to go through the process, and the sheriff, I guess, had to go out and do some of them. And I think she mailed some of them that time. And so she thought that Judge Mount, when he was in here, said, well, not to throw her under the bus, but there was only 1 jury trial. Well, there was 1 jury trial, but they had to pull juries 4 times last year. And there's a difference, So sometimes you pull a jury, you don't have a trial. So I think that for her, if you pull a jury pool of 100 people, I know when I send certified mail, just 1 sheet of paper, when you have to send it return receipt, it's almost $11 now. It might be more than $11 because the postage rates just went up. So, I mean, if that's $1,100 just to send out 100 certified mail, and then she said something about she had to buy stickers, and it's like $25 for 100 stickers or something. I don't know. So, I mean, you're talking, if you did that 4 times a year, that's $5,400 just for the certified mail postage. So I think that's where she was coming from with her postage request. I think it was $6,000. But anyways, I told her I would convey that since I understand how jury pools work and juries work, and most things don't go to trial, but you still have the threat of a jury and have to pull them.
On
Where's
that,
the commissioner?
on that same
They charge
topic,
her money.
It's under
I did
B.
think about what the judge said. And if you sent those regular mail, I don't know there'd be any way to track if someone would be in contempt, right? Because they
Well,
say, well, I never received it.
The statute doesn't say that you have to send them sheriff or certified mail. It just says they have to be summonsed in.
Gotcha.
I think other counties do it. They send certified mail, you call in. I think if someone doesn't show up, they say, okay, we're gonna send the sheriff out to serve the summons now, and we're gonna call them into court. So I think that's something.
So you could initially send it regular mail, but then if there is no reply or whatever, then you go.
Right. Well, the addresses are coming from voter registration. You should get return mail if it's not good, but, property record rolls, all of those things. But I mean, I totally get where he's coming from. You don't want to hold somebody in contempt.
Right.
Even if the law says you can hold somebody
Because
in
you have no
contempt because they
proof
show.
whatsoever whether they received it or didn't receive it, or it got eaten in the mail system or whatever.
Right. And I think the counties that do regular mail, the judges aren't really holding these people in contempt the first time. They're, you might send 100 letters out. But let's say 70 people show up, so you only have 30 then. Well, if you can get your pull from the 70, I mean, obviously something should be done. People should be held accountable.
Yeah.
But I think that's really up to Judge Mount how he wants to do it.
Yeah.
But if Judge Mount determines he wants to do it by certified mail or sheriff, we're gonna have to budget,
Yeah.
budget for that.
All right.
It's behind Jennifer's. Oh, it's board of commissioners. That's why I was.
All right, on to the commissioners.
Okay, at the top there would just be the 10% on a commissioner's salary. The mowers are the same way. I just did some quick math, and those are the ones who do the cemeteries here.
2 people on that, right?
Currently, there's only one.
One.
There is a job posting right now, and that will close on the 22nd. And hopefully they can get somebody hired by the end of the month.
Is the 25,000 to pay 2 originally?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm looking at this at $15 an hour. You're looking at 1,901.5 hours, 2
Right.
hours, something like that.
Which, I mean, obviously we don't have to mow all year,
No,
but this
But I
year
don't
we've
really-
mowed a heck of a lot more than we normally do, because of the rain and the weather. So,
Actually, they mowed less.
is it real?
Yeah, the rain, it made it harder to mow.
I wish I could mow less. I feel like
If it's raining, you can't mow.
my house, there's
And
some
they're getting
neighbor of
paid.
mine that
And they're getting paid.
there's like adult peer pressure on our block. So whenever I hear this neighbor of mine fire up his lawnmower.
I got my wife here.
Yeah, see? But I guess let's make a note and ask them like the same thing we talked about with your part-time. I think the commissioners are technically their boss. So maybe they need to
that's
come up
true,
with a
commissioners, but
reasonable.
John's actually the one that's lucky enough to sit in the.
Oh yeah, he's on the
cemetery
board.
seat,
Maybe,
so.
so put it to the board. What the,
Well, we
that
did,
pay rate need to be for,
we did this year, got salary was what, $11, now we got it up to $11.87.
I think it's 1187.
Yeah, and that's not enough, but I think we're gonna get somebody hired, so. problem solved for now.
I
Anyway.
guess really, do you have an idea of what you would want the salary to be?
Well, I'm kinda like you, when you said $16 an hour, that's, I think you get people quicker.
But if there's a board,
We have a
I mean,
board.
I would just, I don't know, for me, I would say, let's ask the board, maybe whenever you all meet, I don't know when you meet, but
We're
put it
on,
to
we're on the
them.
next commissioner's meeting next week.
So put it to the board and say, what's a fair
Right,
rate, I guess?
and we are talking for next year.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
26.
But I think we're gonna have somebody hard, whatever Vicky said that was.
Well, the job posting closes on the 22nd, and if I can get them to interview the following week, then they could make the announcement on the September the 3rd meeting.
And the unfortunate part is mowing will be over in 2 months.
Question that is
Yeah,
not
go ahead.
my responsibility at all, but if they're hiring and they have a cemetery board, why don't the cemetery board
It's in the commissioner's budget.
Because it's in the commissioner's budget.
budget? So should we move this to a budget that's controlled by the board?
It would just have to, they would have to have two budgets. They'd have to have one from the general fund and one from the,
I mean, I just feel like if
That's
you
one of
have,
the questions we're going to board about.
because if you have a board, what's the purpose of a board if somebody else is hiring the people?
Some things are just advisory boards. I mean, yeah, but
They've got their own budget.
they want that too. Our board wants their own budget.
I mean, because they have a cemetery, I don't know why we couldn't just add the mowers onto the cemetery budget.
I can tell you,
you just have to put it in a different fund
Yeah.
because it comes out of 1,000
we're
fund.
getting away really well with this. There's like 40 cemeteries for mowing.
There's a lot in this
Well,
county.
and I mean, I'm just telling you, you can go check one large cemetery out in Scottsburg.
Can you do
Our
all,
budget, We're doing 40 cemeteries.
we do all of them, I guess?
We're doing them in Scottsburg too, outside Scottsburg Cemetery.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Jonathan Abbott and Jeremy Meadows.
They've been helping
They
drastically.
got out working American tails off
Where's another one in Scottsburg?
by the YMCA.
over there.
Yeah, you're right.
Farm now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right, well, I guess they've got a board. Let's, you figure it out with the commissioner board and however that happens, but
Well, the board itself wants to know if there is, I don't know if there is any statutory authority we have. It's probably an advisory board unless we get more given to us from the commissioners
yeah,
and money to us from you guys.
Right.
So, I don't know if we have to do it today or not.
I don't,
No,
well,
honestly, I'm
I guess it
thinking
would
if we
start
talk
with
to
them,
next Wednesday,
see what they
and I
say.
think we could still move that around. We could go ahead and put another Form 1 in your budget under cemetery that
Make
would
it
just
happen.
move just that line out.
Yeah,
If the commissioners are okay with it.
We've got, yes.
because then I feel better funding it and then knowing it's going to that. You got a board that's overseeing it. My opinion, I think that's the way
Kind of question
things should work.
we are asking, is there some cemeteries we can't even get to
Yeah,
unless a property owner gives us the authority to go there? And we've got one, at least I know, that we have I mean, literally, we just have to go take it to the property owner and once there's a place.
and I think there has to be some kind of
So,
legal, and that's probably a
Well,
Zach
we need an
question,
attorney.
but no. Right now, it's under the commissioner, Zach can do it.
wasn't there a major issue like with one out in Leota area
Yeah, I
not
think
long
so.
ago?
yeah,
Well, you-
they've been mowing it.
I mean, I don't think you can own
Property owner has to
property.
give you permission.
You can't own property around a graveyard and refuse people to come in there and see their
Well,
loved
they
ones or
can-
whatever,
They,
so.
well, that's one of the reasons we're looking too, to see what we can do and can't do. But most property owners say, yes, go ahead.
Sure,
But there's one way out in boondocks that
don't want anybody
they
around.
don't want nobody around.
That's wild.
And so it's like, where do we want to go with this? Nobody uses the cemetery anyway. It's so old and,
But still, what if
yeah,
my
occasionally,
32nd removed grandpa was there and I wanted to go visit? I mean, you gotta have the right.
yes. So I think there's some right of way issues.
Next question I have on there's that admin assistant soil and water. Is that the same soil and water?
They
So-
fund it.
Can we, are we gonna make that to their own budget like we talked about with them and to where they can budget themselves? Yeah, let's do that.
Over me.
Every year I try to clean up something and
Are we gonna try to give them
make it a little bit.
5,000? Is that
I mean, I would like
is that
to.
in this part, or is it, do we put that?
That's in ours.
That's in our part.
Which I'm gonna move it out too, and we're gonna make them one, so whenever we get to us, which us shouldn't be a huge conversation, I would hope. Is there anything else in here that we need to address really, or is it stay
We're
kind
leaving
of
the
the
office supplies at $750. When you look down through the next, section 3, the professional services, Zach's contract last year was 48,000.
same? It was last year.
Legal services, a lot of these have not been touched, but you don't know if you're gonna need them. But these might be ones that end up going back to the general fund at the end of the year, but you kinda need a budget there just in
Right.
case.
Can I ask a question? We ever get a contract from the city on that animal shelter?
Nope.
I don't have anything.
Well, once again, I just don't think that's a lot of money for
It is.
not knowing what they're doing with it, so on my end, so I'm sorry, but.
No, and I agree, I
That
think-
needs, that needs to be discussed before we send that kind of money.
And I think if we're gonna stand strong on the contract we asked the sheriff to enter into, in all fairness, we need to have the same thing. We need a contract of some sort, updated and signed for that before we send that money to them as well. I agree with you.
I mean, what is Austin putting in that, and what is the city of Scottsville putting in that? Are we funding it at all? That's what I'm saying, that's a lot of money.
Well, what we're being told is we're funding 50% of it. I mean, I have not seen their budget, and I don't want that to sound like, well.
Well,
Then the
I don't
question
feel like
becomes
that, let's just look at it.
50% of their budget or
Operating.
50% of
Operating
their
costs.
net?
Yeah.
After they take in fees and all this other stuff, so.
That's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
Zach was supposed to work on the contract.
But we'd like to see I would like to see a contract before we okay that kind of money.
Yeah, no, I agree
No,
with
no
you.
offense, I'm just not picking on that, but trust me.
Well, I don't want to be
All of that
petty in
is
here
still-
either, but you got flags for veterans' graves. Is that not what the VA does? I mean, it's.
And I was gonna ask that too,
I asked the other day.
Okay.
because there's 3,000 in theirs and 800 in another. How much is a flag? I haven't bought one in a long time, but my lord, that would be a bunch. $3,800 in flags seems,
They put them over, or they have volunteers put them out over the whole
And I
county.
don't begrudge any grave.
I don't at all, and don't get me wrong, but my word.
They're roughly about, depending, 78 cents to $1 a flag.
Oh, for $3,800, you're talking.
Quantity. Right, because that's fire department, and granted, that was 2 or 3 years ago. For 9/11, we bought like 400. And I think that was the cheapest I could find, them was around 78
Yeah.
cents a piece.
I mean,
And they're almost identical to the ones they're putting on veterans.
and do they,
And I don't know how many veterans.
another
graves are in the
question,
community, Probably a lot.
another question I have is, do we buy those every year and just like use them one time, throw them away, or is that what they
Well, they
do?
don't throw them where they stay on the graves. Usually sometimes the controversy come down because the mowers,
Come down and take them down?
maybe not on purpose, but
Well,
families get upset.
No,
the ones that are passed out to 78 cents, they're not gonna last out in that sun very
For no
long.
time.
Yeah, no, for
So
sure,
that's,
yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
like they can be reused.
Okay.
But if you got Memorial Day,
Veterans
Labor
Day,
Day, Veterans Day, or whatever, if you're putting them on, you do
I
every
could see it.
major holiday, or
I mean, really, at
I know they
roughly
don't-
$1 a piece, you're talking 3,800 flags, and there's probably that
There's
many
probably-
veterans.
Oh, they're every bit that.
Yeah, I'd say.
So,
I'm just
And they
asking
couldn't get them
if
up,
we
we
need,
volunteers.
we need.
Because all jokes aside, it's funny that's this conversation, because when we bought ours, I thought, man, that's gotta be a lot of money for all those graves every year.
Yeah,
But I wasn't sure if people collected them back up, like, we just leave ours out 2 or 3
Well,
days and bring them in.
The next question is, should that money
Go
go
to
to
the-
the commissioners and go to the VA?
Exactly.
So we can control all the flags, so y'all have all the money for the flags.
I'm
we can
fine
take
with
care of that.
Exactly, that's what,
Because
it's
how,
general to general, we can move that.
because how can he come and, and ask the commissioners for more money for flags? He doesn't know it's in their budget. I mean,
Yep.
it's-
And
That's
if we
true,
do that, we might want to take a look at the veterans, and what do you look at them? We got 2 different funds there,
right, well, you got,
we might do some consolidation.
Yeah, because he's got an $800 budget for
And you
flags.
got
and this is
There's
3,000.
3,000 here.
Just take it all to him, then he'll have it all, he can be control of it.
Yeah.
Since we got a new, director.
I'm fine with that. What about the add names to memorial? Do you do that for the veteran guy
Say
too?
that again.
Add names to the memorial, does it go to the,
We pay,
Veterans
well, I
Trust.
can tell you, the last one put on down at Memorial was paid for by the American Legion.
hey, that's not
So I went to
fair.
them and asked them to pay.
Isn't this what we used to
Do you-
pay for Jennifer?
No donuts?
Hey,
Oh.
I thought that the VA had that too. I thought that she had come to last year or so
And
and had 4 or 5 names that she was adding.
That's what I'm asking.
That's what I'm thinking.
Would it not make more
They do
sense?
ask to put them on, and I think it's on these memorials here. I don't know that they do anything else in the county.
No, I
I think it's
think
just right here. Yes.
Wouldn't it make more sense to just move that to the veterans
Yeah.
budget? And then I'm just trying to clean things up and keep it where it should be, because I feel like that's an easy way that we forget about it. And then the veterans doing what they should be doing,
Who's
come and ask
controlling
them
it now?
double.
I think they probably leave that in the commissioners because you don't always use it.
Commissioner's budget, it's right here.
So it's,
And,
That could be too. But I guess you could put it under, if we put it in the veterans affairs, put it under a different line, like, you know what I mean, start a different sequence. And then if it's transferred, it has to come to us anyway.
Only if it goes to a different sequence at this point.
Right.
Or-
I mean, I guess if we did that, we'd put it under a different sequence, and then you're not just moving it around to buy something they
I
want.
mean, it would need to really by state board of accounts stay in a 3,000
For that.
level.
I don't know what he has. I'd have to go look.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
we don't have to do that, but it seemed like it'd be more useful if we had
counties. Maybe
take care of all
one
that.
property owned by the cemetery,
So who maintains it?
cemetery.
The cemetery board?
There's, whoever they got mowing the cemetery on,
You talking the one that,
that's Park,
which part?
Gosford Park.
Oh, Scotts.
Big, big-
Because isn't there a big memorial down at Pigeon Rooster?
Yeah,
Whatever they're
that's
doing.
nothing done to it. That's just.
That's, yeah, that's,
Who
it
maintains
needs
that?
to be something, the county does.
There's a request for pigeon roost utilities.
It's a,
Yeah, we pay it
it's a
like,
county park, I never have totally understand that, but we're a state memorial.
right.
But we, somehow it was all turned over to the county about 20 years ago.
Well, the state can find a way to, they will.
No, they dumped what they did.
Yeah,
They said,
that's what
"Your
I'm saying.
problem here."
That's what I'm saying. They
Yeah.
find a way to, yeah.
Yeah. But regardless, it's, a lot of people don't even understand this, but the difference between this monument on the square and the one down at the park, this one on the square is for all veterans that came out of Scott County. The one down at the park is just for people who were killed on duty. That's why it's Memorial Day.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. I don't mean to cut you off with the all right. I'm just saying,
It's all right.
what are we gonna do with these? Do you wanna, White brought up a good point. Leave them in here and they don't get used. They revert back. You take them out of here and put them in someone else's budget. I guess they have the
Let me ask you a
opportunity
question.
to transfer and use.
Why don't you go and this year and see if any money's been used out of them? Can you do that?
I think in the past, we didn't always buy them, we just paid
It's
them.
been transferred out to be used for
American
something else.
Legion bought them.
Flags for veterans' graves, 100% of it remains. Add names to memorial, 100% of it remains.
It's working too
I
good.
think that's probably why they left that under commissioners instead of moving it out to the VA would be my guess.
Well, but the guy Jonathan that runs the VA now, does he know that money's there available? Does he know
Right.
the company
He may not.
commissioners asked for that? If you
He
need
may
to,
not,
may not.
because
I mean,
Because I'm sure he's just diving in and trying to look at his budget and understand what he has to work with. And I mean, I don't care either way. If you think it would be easier for us to put it to him, I'm a vote for that. If you all want to keep it here, I'll go along with that.
either way,
I
I
don't care.
mean, yeah.
I would say take the 3,000, take his 800 out of his and put the 3,000
In there.
in his.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that.
Or let him know that there's money available through the commissioners for the flags and then, and all that, so he'll know that. Because he probably doesn't know that.
I think it'd be less likely to be overlooked if it was in his budget. The problem is somebody needs to make sure he's aware that, hey, you're responsible for this.
Yeah.
And that's what this is for.
Right.
You just gotta go to the commissioners and
They
get
grab
money.
me every year down to American Legion.
And I don't-
Sure they get paid for it.
I don't even care to reach out to him and ask him to, stop by a meeting with us and we tell him, look, we moved this money to here and now you're gonna do it. Or I'll call him. I mean, I think Jonathan's very understanding and willing to help any way he can.
Well, I'm off topic here a little bit.
No.
There's, it's common, but there's still a note on the door out there, not taking any walk-in visitors. And I don't know when that's gonna change.
I think because what he said, he's not fully certified yet.
I know.
And now Tom resigned, so it's gonna probably be a little bit.
And that's not our issue as much.
Right.
Well, and to just add to, that job has been advertised. It'll close on the 22nd as well.
Mhm.
So the commissioners could interview that the last week of,
So Jonathan don't get to pick who works.
he can come in, yes, but, I mean, they've always picked it in the past, so.
Weird. All right. Well, let's decide what we're doing on those so we don't spend much more time with it. It either stays or goes.
Yeah.
I don't care
Well,
on it.
regardless, there's still money in there. If you leave it in there, he just needs to be aware there's money there.
Either way.
In case he needs it, because he's only got $800 for flags in his budget, so.
Those property tax refunds, is that what we kept doing?
Yes. And I did find out something, part of our reason that being so high this year, this is the first full year, because we converted in 24. When Lau has found these, and they've
Oh.
sent letters to people, so that's been generated through.
Well, it's supposed to help us make money and find
Well,
things.
I get Peter's been bringing in too, but this is a surplus that.
Would that line be better under your budget? That was my question, because we appropriated it to
Could
you.
be. I mean, that actually goes between the treasurer and myself. He's the one who starts. It comes from his office.
So should it go into his budget? I mean, I guess I'm wondering why it's in the commissioner's budget. Why not put it in the person who's
Because they
responsible
don't
for
technically
paying it back?
refund anybody.
Do you want it in yours or you want mine?
Back to flags, move them over his. It only makes sense.
I'm good
Why,
with it.
why put an extra step into the process of
I think
him
they can
having
add
to
the
come
names
here,
thing too,
ask
so
for
that
money,
should all
just
go
put
to
it in
him
his
as well.
budget.
Flags and names go to veterans.
Yes,
I like
I
it.
think that makes good sense,
yeah.
because if he doesn't use it, it's still gonna revert back, I
Yeah.
think.
It's
The
just
property
silly.
tax refunds is going to Ryan.
Yeah, I think that's probably the better place for it to go.
Who cuts the check to people for refunds?
She does.
We do. I cut the check.
So do you want it?
I can do it.
Okay.
Scratch treasurer, back to auditor.
Back to auditor, let's go back.
Thank you, Jennifer.
All right. And you don't have, I'm just looking, we've got the 125, but we got another 25 going into that, right? Is that what you said? Up
Yeah,
there?
and that's what, we haven't got those. Those, which, oh, well, we haven't got them appropriated yet.
Cause there was 15, we did 25, put it at 40, and we had 2,900.
I-
But then we did a second 25.
Yes, and I don't think I've got the first 25 in there yet, so.
Okay. So we're actually at 65,000? Is what we,
Probably right at that.
And that should, but those are ones that's finding and it's going 3 years back. We shouldn't have those that much
No,
going
I don't,
forward.
that's why I'm thinking, I don't know why it was so big this year, and then when I got thinking, Lyle's gone back and looked, and they do go back to 3 years, so that's.
Yeah.
All right.
I bet
That's something big.
we won't be going back 3 years again because everybody should be current
Yeah,
now, all
should
those
be,
areas. Okay.
all right. And then somebody, are you gonna reach out to commissioners about the animal shelter
Yes, I
contract?
will. I'll let them know there.
All right.
Exactly.
Anybody got anything else on commissioner budget? All in favor, going once, going twice, treasurer's up. We're cutting the heck out of him, they brought,
One right slide.
we're gonna cut Ryan to the quick, he come in here with coffee, and didn't bring nobody on.
Not even donuts or
Man.
anything, no? A cake pop,
no.
something.
If it makes you feel any better, I wanted them back in and
They didn't let you do that either, huh?
See, story of my life. Mine will be, it wasn't in the budget.
That's what he.
That's what he said. I like it, I like it. All right.
Yeah, you
Yeah, yeah, I bet you hear more about that later.
All right.
Well, Ryan, how's things going for you, buddy?
Good.
All right, well, let's talk 26. We got the standard 10% increases on the 3 people you have. One of the big topics today has been part-time. And I think from the talk here at the table is asking elected officials and department heads, like what they think their part-time should be paid at hourly. And then
He's already got somebody doing it.
we fund it and move on. Is yours paid at the 11, whatever?
87.
So I guess a question would be, and you don't have to answer right now if you need to consider it, but what would be a fair rate for the part-time in your office? Jennifer's thinking like, what'd you say, 16-ish for her office?
I'd say that 16 or 17.
And then how many hours do you, I mean, you don't have a whole lot of money in there, just under 4,000. How many hours a week do they do for you?
I don't, it's, in the spring, I have maybe a total of a month.
Okay.
That I really need somebody. In the fall, I have probably a good solid week. And then in between, I may have to do something if Christie's sick and my chief deputy and there's an emergency, then I'll call somebody in, but I think I'm pretty much good.
Do you want to go to just a squared off 4,000 on that? I mean, it's at 39.93 right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go to a squared off 4 and then you sort it out.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then, let's see here, we got office supplies stays the same. Postage goes up just a little bit, which I'm
Yeah.
sure it went up in your,
I've got an email, they're expecting a 8.8% increase on that. I think that was total to the 8,100 I have there.
Gotcha.
That I've requested, so.
what else is up here? Dues and subscriptions. Did that go up some?
Yes, it did. And I have the emails on all that too. It went
Nah,
up
I trust you.
0.75 of my salary, so that would be about a total of about $762 altogether.
You got 712.50 on your budget thing. So we may have to.
Is that with the 10% increase though?
I don't know. That's
What's it
what's
say here?
on here.
Mine does not show that.
So if
So
you
we're
go,
not too far off from.
if you go up above that, we'll just have to probably do some kind of an additional or something throughout the year, because I can't take it much higher than that. I don't think, unless we
might be able
cut
to,
somewhere
I
else.
think in this general fund,
Oh,
these
yeah,
10%
here's general.
salaries
gonna
are
leave that.
advertised, so I'm sure we're not gonna make that. I'm not trying to be
No,
facetious, we're not
I'm
gonna
with
make that.
What,
So that's already advertised, that total amount, so I mean, we stay.
so
there,
what
we
does
can
it need to be?
redistribute it.
760?
$762
So
is the
go,
math on that.
So the 3,700 should be 762,
no, do, yeah, 37,000 line.
37,000.
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
Scared me.
Zach says they have not heard anything from the animal shelter about getting a new contract.
Tell Zach they better work on it, they ain't getting no money.
9 weeks.
JR says
Is that
better
enough
work
for
on it
your
or they ain't
part-time?
getting no money.
Will that cover it? Because if you raise that dollar amount to 4,000, you only get 9 weeks worth of part-time.
We can make it work, yeah.
Be okay. That's what I was thinking, is if it's only spring, you might. be
Oh,
all
if we
right.
raise it to 16 an hour is what we're saying.
Yeah, you'll
Yeah.
only get 9 weeks all year.
How about that?
Yeah,
Well, it's
That's-
8.9.
That's a month and that's a week or two in the set, and then a week in the fall, so
I
that's.
think I can swing it. I think I can swing it.
maintenance contract, is that just raising 10% for the budget stuff, or do you have maintenance contracts that are above? Cause you had 750, looks like you added another 734,
But it's only spent
but then only
166.
spent like 226 so far.
And then on that deposit box rental, we ever figure out what that was?
That is for the recorder, that we have to keep something off-site for them in case.
Have we
Then
paid
why
it?
don't they
Haven't
pay
paid
for it?
anything yet?
Well, I talked to him,
Where's it out?
letting us have
Where's
it
it
this
at?
year. I was complaining about it and Russ was like, oh, don't worry about it, so.
Is it the bank?
It's at the West Bank.
Is that a West Bank?
Yes.
All right.
It's all right.
It's odd that you have to pay for that out of your budget.
Well, but when people pay makes property tax payments, does it go into that box?
No, it's a
Or
No,
lockbox.
it's just a lockbox there, so they keep
Probably
all the
old.
treasure stuff together, and I think that's why it comes out of my budget.
Probably deeds and stuff in there, isn't there?
So I've never opened it up or looked. I guess I could.
Field trip day, I'll go with it. I wanna know what's in that thing. We've paid for this and I've
He
asked
said it
about
was-
it every year.
Maybe we'll find $1 million bucks.
They said it
Put
was
in the
just like
county coffers.
old tapes from past changes that have been made to the county.
Really?
I haven't.
Yeah, there you go,
We
John.
probably don't even have anything to play it anymore.
Take John with
We
you.
spend $80 and no clue.
Maybe we need to check what's in there and what the retention records
We
are.
bought a, time capsule, is what we paid for.
Did we ever figure out what the maintenance contract is? What's the
So,
maintenance?
yeah, we have some printers in the office. So at the beginning of the year, and I'm not throwing off on anything, but I feel like we have too many printers in my office.
I
So
like your thoughts.
I'm kind.
Everybody else needs a printer.
I'm cutting down on what we're buying for ink because if we're gonna pay those contracts to, is it?
M&M.
M&M's over here.
They've been really good about, we ran out this year. They charged me a little more because it was our tax season. I had to have them within an hour to get up here
Right.
because we had people coming in. So, they worked really good with me, but, that is paid to them. My other printers, I'm just kind of letting them go because I'm not gonna buy ink for that if we're going to pay them for a contract in my office. So I haven't figured out the balance yet of that, so I'm sure this tax season coming, me not buying ink, we're gonna really find out how it is to get up off our seats and go to a printer.
Just to make it sure 870's enough to pay the contract, because it looks like you haven't spent very much on the contract line this year, but.
Yeah, but I may be, there may be a little bit of confusion of me taking that out of office supplies and me not taking it out of an accident. Let me check because I've got all those records, but,
Well, it looks like-
they should be coming out of that
Well,
line.
if we have a contract, I wanna make sure a contract term gets paid. Does that make, Jennifer knows what I'm talking about. So I just wanna make sure 870 matches up with what we're supposed to pay for the contract. Cause I don't want a contract to go in
I'm
default.
not sure if we have one with them as far as.
I don't know that I've seen it.
Okay, cause what says, it's under maintenance contract. So when I see that word contract, I think, okay, is there a
So-
contract? What are the
So you
terms?
just
Is
need to
this
call
enough
them to
pay
ask
it?
for a maintenance contract and see what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I can do that.
Then that money needs to be the same as what's on your budget line.
I can do that.
Right.
Same with the tax statement.
I said, whatever the contract is, that's what he needs to have,
Yes.
but he needs to have a contract from M&M.
Yeah.
No, don't tell them it's 870, tell them it's 625.
Tell them they made a mistake with 520. Cause we got one and it's like so much a month, and they come in and audit it so much and then it pops up.
On
Extra money, so.
your travel, it looks like you had to take some, like $730 out of postage, move to travel. So it was 700, you're looking, will 900 cover you for next year? or-
I don't know, but I want to talk to y'all about that. I'm really pushing internal controls in my office, checks and balances. I want everybody kind of, the state board of accounts says that jobs need to be split up. I'm trying to make sure that's happening. So we need to be going to the meetings that they're having, because my chief deputy works on the excise side of stuff. He knows a lot more about it than what I know. So here at the beginning of the year, we're really gonna try to kick tail on me knowing more about what he's doing, my other person checking his work, and going to these meetings is helping us and telling us, I just want things in my office to run a little bit more efficient. And I think going to these things will help us. So I don't know if it will cover, but.
I mean, I guess my question is, and it's up here on the board, but $731 came out of postage, went into travel expense, but then we've only spent $483 out of travel. So you've got $947 in it still for this year. None of that'll roll over. It's all blanks out. So
I doubt I use that 900 for, I know we've got a couple more things that we're gonna go to this year, but I wanted to make sure that was covered if I have to send Christie or Terry somewhere to.
All right.
200 something.
and then the only other transfer was on maintenance contracts, but I think we talked about that one. That's just for the printer. There was a transfer out of the tax statement contract. Is it 6,800 or is it?
I'm just keeping it the same,
Okay.
because they said nothing there on part of the.
Will change.
Premium is changed, so.
1,200. All right. And you and Terry both have cell phone stipends. Is that what the
Yes.
1,200? All right. Anybody got any other questions for Ryan?
We're well cut and dried.
Yeah. All righty, easy enough, sir. Thank you, buddy.
Have a good day, sir.
It's all right. We all got it.
Yeah, we all do that.
Have a good day, sir.
What other ones do we need to go over? I got like the TIP district for the Board of Commissioners. Do we need to touch on it?
You can, I mean, they've
Oh,
already,
Start at the
I
beginning.
just used the
We did
25.
plan commission, right?
It's the same as last year, right?
Did we do 911?
Not yet. We got our, new, or 11.
It's the same as 25.
We did building commissioner, we did building maintenance. Cemetery commission, did we do that one? We did? Don't remember, I don't have any notes on it.
Cemetery.
Circuit court,
We talked about cemetery, but I don't think we did it. Did we do
I don't
their
I
budget?
don't think we did either.
I don't have any notes.
Well,
No.
just the
No,
one
they
you
have
got
their own.
wrong.
You got your own.
There's a cemetery board. huh?
That's what I'm
Why did
saying.
you say you? Are you the cemetery?
He's the
commissioner?
president of the
Do you
cemetery.
like the dead people?
We mow grass.
We
Okay,
mow
we
grass.
got about $5,000 there. You got $6,657.
Like $47,000.
Huh?
Is what?
That's our budget?
To mow one cemetery.
Well, your mower's under the board of commissioners.
Yeah.
This is just supervisor inspection.
Yeah, John, you may want to look at that and see if that can be changed around.
Yeah, I think that's where we moved the other money from, like the
The
mower.
board of commissioners, you wanna put it under the cemetery, but it's a different fund.
It'll be a different fund.
Yeah.
Well, they'll just, but I'm saying they'll have to have another Form 1 for
That's
that,
it.
but yeah, that should be.
Take it out of general? Is that what you're saying?
No, they'll still have to be money out of general, but the cemetery commission will have to have
But,
two budgets, one
yeah,
for
for
their fund,
general and
one
one
for,
for their fund.
where does their money come from?
That's what I was getting ready to look
The
at,
cemetery?
is 23.
There is a small tax that
It's
takes it out of
generated.
it. Generated for just.
Well,
For
right.
property taxes.
Right now, it's got, I can't tell because I don't know what appropriations were made out of it, but that fund has started with 11,000, it's taken in 5596 and spent 56. No, it says year-to-date receipts,
They bought a mower out of it.
17,582.
We had
A couple years ago.
Ending balance 11,974 is what it shows. I don't know what other appropriations, but
Mostly it's just, mostly it's paying.
might be able to pay the grass
Yeah.
mowing out of that.
And on this,
You
the
know, pay the
fuel,
grass mowing out of
the
that.
highway will pay it and then they'll reimburse the highway. It's the way the fuel usually goes.
Once the bag's already cement, I mean,
If they have to repair stuff.
Put the sink in, fall on water.
Sinking, falling, something.
You said that was a small tax. I know, John, you mentioned you were mowing one in the city that may not be.
Mowing.
Is the city getting a piece of that tax? If not, I think it would be ultimately the county's responsibility overall, right?
Right.
Because I was gonna have them address that. If it's a city responsibility, then by all means, it's city responsibility. But if the
So
city's
it's
not receiving the tax,
Money
but
for
the
it.
county is, then it's not, I would assume it would fall under the county.
You still might need to ask that question.
Do it.
They are
Yeah.
getting more mowing than they
For that.
Right, right. And that's what I want to make
They
sure,
have a
clarification.
board.
If they're getting that
They
money, they
control
need to take care of it. But
out
if
of it.
the county's getting the money, then I would assume the
And
county.
we're not paying for Scottsville.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't mean Scottsburg Cemetery. I'm talking about the one up by the Y that you was
That
talking
you're
about.
mowing.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we mow it. There's another one we mow too.
Right now, at the cemetery board, there's $6,378.06 in that.
How is that so different from what is in here? Cause it says the ending balance allows 11,000 something.
Well, it was before they paid the $5,000 mower payment.
Just to keep you guys up too, we never had a cemetery board, what, June?
Yeah, it's fairly new, I think.
Oh,
And there's been a cemetery board for years and years, but it was just, and they did it actually simple, they just took care of things, there was no.
Yeah.
Real,
And that's why I'm saying, I think,
now that
Inspector was, Mr.
commissioners
Robbins.
are putting it in a legal status now. So
and that's why I feel like now's the time in 26 to move it to, if it's gonna be its own thing, they already have one budget. Even if we pay it out of general, it's like its own department.
But it's under the commissioners.
Now,
I mean,
he comes in
yeah,
and gets
it'll
his
still be-
paycheck, or he comes in to sign it off through you, right? Does that make a difference which fund it comes out of? I mean, wouldn't it?
She still writes all the checks to everybody.
Yeah.
So,
JR, I'm with you on that. I mean, it's kind of like flags. If they have their own department now, why would they have to go to the commissioners and ask for their money? Just go ahead and give them their money to be able to
do
manage
your
their
thing.
own budget.
Especially since they got a board.
Yeah.
You know, be different than.
Does it have to do though with the contract? Like, is there a contract the commissioners enter into, and that's why the commissioners
And
took
we
it out of
work for the
there?
commissioners regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
I just
just,
think there's a lot of repetitive of
There
having
is.
to come before a board to ask for something when in theory, it should be in the budget to begin with, to just be able to do.
Well, and that is one of the reasons the board wants to meet with the commissioners next week.
and I think that's how things get construed because
Just
it's
decide.
buried in this budget. You don't know it, then you come in here and ask to buy a lawnmower.
Right.
We approve it.
Like, if they were to get
And
hurt
then
sometime,
there's-
it might be carried there.
That guy that
I don't know
knows
if you would do
something
your own
leaves,
policy
the
Yeah.
next that comes in doesn't
Yeah.
know that he needs to go to the commissioners
This thing-
because they have money for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just needs to be cleaned up. That's
The mowers, are they employees or are they contractors?
employees of the county.
They're part-time employees.
Well, that might be why they're, well, that
That
doesn't
might
make
be.
sense because, well, yeah, it could be under their insurance policies.
That's what I'm thinking, they would
Because
fall,
EMS, Nick
by
pays
being
his
through the
own.
commissioners, they would fall under all our insurance if they were to go out there and fall down, cut themselves or.
Yeah.
They
something
still
like
would if
that.
it's a county
But if they're
department.
part-time, well,
It still
Yeah,
would.
it does if they're part-time.
Community corrections is a standalone thing. They have their own board they answer to and they're still county employees. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
but they
sure the
also
job
have,
is-
if you look at their budget, they have their FICA, their PERF, their group insurance all under their budget.
I'm
And I
They
think
would
that's
too
what
if they
she's
had
saying.
full-time employees.
Which there's a lot of laws compared to some of the stuff. I think cemetery board, we're kind of fine under the commissioner's authority. I don't know the whole lot of state laws says
Well, that's what
what
I'm
we gotta
saying.
do and not do.
I think I probably wouldn't want to move it just because there's too many questions about it. It's not hurting anything. It's still the general fund. I understand it's gonna let them control, but I think we probably need some more information for us.
I'm not so much thinking about the control portion, it's kind of like what we were talking here to the side. It's if, let's say John, he's very passionate about that. If he leaves and somebody new steps into that role that is unaware that there's money over here on this other side and they need things, but yet they have no clue that they have some money over here, but then there's some over here that they have to go to the commissioners and ask for, kind of like a whole
A lot
flag
of these
system.
boards and department heads should be, that work for the commissioners or under the commissioner's umbrella should be communicating with commissioners though anyway,
Well,
so.
yeah,
What's the difference in
I
the
mean,
cemetery
not asking
thing
questions
and the
is sort of on
transfer
the,
station?
yeah.
What's the difference in the cemetery and the transfer
Well, the
station?
transfer
Transfer station
station they are county employees
So are they.
under the commissioners, but I don't know if under the cemetery board. There's no transfer station board.
Right.
But it's like the regional sewer district was set up very much like that, but the county didn't cover their insurance.
And we were
Well, they're not
appointed by
county
the commissioners,
employees.
the 5 of us appointed by the commissioners. I got a 5-year appointment, and there's a 4-year appointment, 3-year appointment, 2-year appointment. There's one man will be reappointed next year that's been on there for half a year. So, I mean, it's,
I just think it would clean up budgets if it's doable. If it's not, it's not. But
Yeah, no, I agree.
it doesn't matter to me a whole lot. I think what my board wants to do is mostly just find out what our standing is, exactly where we are, what we can do and
well, we
can't.
don't want to mess up any of the benefits or anything like that.
No.
That's what changes.
I think they're both part-time. There's
They are.
no full-time to it.
All right, so cemetery, approve as is, I guess.
He, something
I
in
mean,
Congress
it's
for the future.
$6,000, but
Richard, you got this going, actually told me, we
Community
talked about raining earlier.
Gotten to them yet.
He says, you know, we might want to think about a salary or an hourly rate. He said, "It's raining, we're not mowing." But we gotta take this,
You're all asking a lot out of me on Saturday, I tell you.
something to think about.
Which one we going at?
But simply, we come in, we'll probably go down to park and that's one
They
county,
didn't do anything.
and that's when people complain.
did they not get a slot, community corrections?
No, what was the,
They didn't request it, I offered, and she said that she didn't.
No, I guess we request not to do their budget. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
There's my code I've been looking for. Been nice having a
You
community
can cut out
correction department.
$328,000 right there.
What we doing now, county council?
No, we need to do the coroner. They're up.
They don't ask for any. Emphasis in community corrections.
I don't know.
We're in corner then?
Everything on the board commit, on the community corrections, the same, they didn't ask for 10% or nothing, they look like.
Yeah, theirs usually goes through their board.
Can we do coroner? Speaking of which, yeah, does the coroner want a budget?
I don't know, I can't answer that.
Who's not the
You're
coroner?
not the coroner.
That's right. My guess is.
Why is the coroner not on the list, Kenley?
Didn't request one, I guess.
They've never been on it.
It's the same though. Everything's the
Don't
same.
have, don't feel. Okay.
Everything's the same on it, other than the salary.
I told Johnny, you know, speak up for that, bring it into the 21st century. Opportunity.
County council. Did I get my $30 raise?
Yeah, I give them.
$30
Looking at
a
Zach's
year.
budget, I think I need a raise.
Yeah, I think you both get one.
We can remove the computer cost this time.
Oh, I missed up on that one, yeah.
Oh, so we're going council
I
then?
find that it's better
Yeah.
because if there's nothing to do, I don't want to get a
Yeah,
lot of people doing
councils.
nothing. What about, did we do the county elected officials training fund?
We gotta do the county council.
But the county elected officials training fund is before the county council on the book.
Is it?
I think so, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not, sorry. Where did I skip?
Saturday, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I skipped it. Sorry.
Just trying to
That's
think.
right after us.
Yeah, take out that 5,000 on computers, Will. I guess I will ask one more time. Does anybody here not have a computer that wants one? Because if we're gonna buy them,
Yeah, I want one.
you have one or should have one coming. He's working
I don't
on it.
have one though.
You got one coming, I
Okay,
think.
all right.
I know that one's figured in. Anybody else? Yeah, I'm sure you want one.
Oh. They don't have to know something.
How to do the loud.
Oh, they don't have to know something.
Good point.
Got enough. All right, then we're gonna take,
I'll wait on you too.
we'll take that out on,
I watch
You
your.
better get one.
we'll take it out in 26 then.
I can only
No
watch
reason for
Johnny
that.
lock one up, so.
Soil and water grant, what are we gonna do on that? Do you guys wanna do the 10, or are we leaving them the 5?
Well, in my opinion, if we're gonna take away the computers, I think they've been really, I think the 10,000 of them, I think will be fine. I would think so. I think they deserve it.
I think we've got to make some
I know
cuts
we do.
somewhere.
Yeah.
I did my part, I took 5,000 out of this.
We're done.
I think soil and water needs to be left at 5. I'm sorry, I'd like to give them 10 as well, but like I say, we've got to make cuts and if we can
Oh, yeah, I
suffice
agree.
them with that.
I agree.
That's something we do every year, just give them a grant.
Yeah.
How long been doing that forever?
Yeah.
Or are we going,
Couple of years we have.
or do you wanna meet in the middle?
We've been here.
One's at 10, one's at 5, do you wanna do
Let's
7,500?
do 5. I'm like John. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to do that, but we gotta make
All right.
cuts.
I mean, I'd like to give them $100,000, but we don't have it
I
yet.
make a motion. for that.
5, and we're moving, yeah, we ain't doing that right now. 5, and we're moving that to its own thing,
Plus we're
right?
doing
Yeah.
away with the computer and. So we still give them the grant, right? And then, but that stays in our budget, not in theirs.
Well, we're gonna move it to a budget for them, because we're gonna put all the employees and that grant in that budget. And I think that'll clean it up, and it'll make it better for that. Everything else pretty much the same, right?
I'm probably gonna need an additional appropriation this year. I don't know where I'm at.
We'll figure that out, but we'll look at salaries and stuff. from that. Hey. What's up, Joe? How are you doing?
Sure.
County elected officials training, is that the same as 25, I guess?
What did they budget for out of theirs? Like,
And
those
this-
individual departments do their travel and training?
This covers like newly
It's newly
elected,
elected,
isn't it?
but then there's also an unappropriated line in the commissioners that they do, like if we go to state called meetings, it's paid out of. I don't know if there's statute that shows you should not do this, I'll have to kind of investigate. But I don't know if you want to put that in elected officials training, I don't know if that's only for newly elected.
I've never understood why every time
commissioners. That's really good. You have to do it through the highway.
But that's not a state, that's not
We've
a,
done it though.
No, it
state
is,
created fund, right? It's a home rule fund. So we would have to look at the,
Find an ordinance on that.
yeah, we'd have to look for the ordinance and see what the purpose is. Is it only for newly elected? So
But that's the way it's,
could you put that on a schedule list somewhere?
I mean, yeah, cause otherwise this is a wasted
Yeah,
budget, I think.
I'm just gonna put a
Drainage
note,
board.
need
Drainage
ordinance.
board while we're here.
Drainage board while we're here. You talked me into it, Colin.
And I mean,
He said it.
That was next on the list. I was just flipping through.
D, right?
Come on now.
I'm doing math today, but I can't do the alphabet. I'm sorry,
You
guys.
once said commissioners, we didn't know it was under B. Who would have thought that?
Right. La, la, la.
Like, is it under T, the commissioner?
What changes here? Board members,
the
when-
only thing it shows that.
are we
the-
increasing their pay?
Yeah.
It's advertised. It's advertised.
Do you guys wanna increase board members of the drainage board's pay? Are we gonna leave it at 1,600?
Say leave it.
I'm gonna leave it. I
Everything
see some
else
head
is
nods.
the
We'll leave it.
same.
Leave it.
Everything else is the same.
Secretary.
1,200.
It looks like
Who
you
is
cut
the
the budget.
secretary for that?
No
Take
idea.
out salaries or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
someone's gonna have to give there.
Every police is president.
then,
28.
Drug-free community.
Randy,
Well, they go attorney is up to 6,000, 12,000.
That ain't happening.
He's learned a lot.
What's that? Missed it.
Momar's on the drainage board.
On the drainage board?
Hey, on the drainage board, they have a legal advisor attorney for 6,000. They've only spent $580. Are we leaving them $6,000 for
Or attorney do
attorneys?
that.
Or you scratch it?
use some guy else say.
We gotta make cuts, guys.
Well, they
Come out
did use
general,
that
let's
John
cut, let's
Meade,
knock
but
down
he's
2,500.
I'm not sure.
I mean, they've used 500.
I think
Maybe.
knocking it down to 1,000, that they need it, we know it's come back.
That's fine too.
Professional services is 2,000 and zero of that's been used. Take it to 1,000 or 500 or something.
500.
Mileage is 90, none of it's been used either.
Same with
What would it
drinking.
get mileage for? I mean, I don't
There was
understand
one
what it's
on the board too.
Yes.
What would that board get mileage for?
I have no idea. I don't know that they have since we've been here. I don't know if they-
They probably need to, but they'll never ask for it. I know they do a lot of running. Bill Comer and Ever, all of them are always out trying to see and check out the drainage.
But they've never turned it in, so.
And they won't do it. I mean, like I said, if they turned it in, they'd probably be used, but
Are we removing it then? Are we leaving it?
put $50 in
Put
there.
$50,
leave it-
leave the line open,
Yeah.
All right,
in case somebody ever
I'm with
did.
you. Same with printing and advertising. They haven't
Leave
used
a 100 in
it.
there and
100 there.
And
And
let's go back,
that
let's go.
could, that's gonna be like if something comes in that they have to advertise,
Right.
that kind of stuff, so.
Supplies, do you wanna do 100 there too? 'Cause that's at 200, but they haven't used it. They haven't used postage.
Back at this thing. When you normally have to advertise for something, how much does that run? I'm assuming you're talking like Crothersville Times to run an ad for
Yes,
some kind of
yes.
public notification. Is $100 gonna cover that? Like if you
Depends
have
on
to do
how
it
much
twice in
they
a
have, and
year?
that's the thing, they haven't been super
Okay,
active,
okay.
but if that were to change, it could get
Okay.
big, yeah.
then we can reappropriate if we need to. But at least that leaves a line open.
Yeah.
Supplies, do you wanna change it to 100 also?
I say leave the postage at 50 and
Leave
leave
it.
it. Take
Some
it
of
down
the
to
ditches out there are really in bad shape.
At least that needs.
Well,
right.
and they clean it out.
Highway comes in.
Yes.
Yeah.
2,800 here, 50, 100.
It
Two
is.
50, 2,800, got it.
50.
And then
Well, I know
over
more
here.
people are very concerned with all the subdivisions
Yeah, we
coming
get
in.
50 there.
Changes.
That's 1,500.
We did 100 on that.
Took it down to 100.
What about secretary?
1,200.
15,
I know, we go take it down, take it off 1,200.
The secretary's 1,200.
I know, but they haven't used any of it.
That's what she gets paid at the end of the year.
Yeah, they get
But I
paid
will
it
tell
out.
Stacy and Steve that you want to take that away.
250.
Let me tell you what happened, yeah.
Hey, I can lead a line just as good as
So their
you
budget
can.
went to 47.
Let me tell you what, John.
Always trying to help.
There's all on the video.
Together and
Just trying to.
create a second tab with
What it is.
what it's actually doing, yeah.
Son-in-law's on this.
Drug-free community, who is that?
I don't know, but they're,
Who does drug-free community?
We don't know, I don't know.
Have they used any money out
We're
of it?
still trying to sort that
I
one
know
out.
it's like.
they got $26,000 budget and they
Son of a
used,
bitch. Well, somebody's using,
It
cause
goes
they're
back to
$1,000
CEC, it goes out. I think it was.
it looks like it's a grant, isn't it?
It is.
But they've, oh, wait a minute.
Melissa,
So they're
do you know
appropriation.
A grant?
on the drug-free community, who's on
I
that?
think it's ceased, and if they've expended more than their budget, I think they came back and asked for more grants.
Okay.
Maybe they spent opioid money to give more grants this year, I think.
So who oversees this?
Ceased.
Cease?
Who is that now? Just person?
I think Carissa.
Is it still Chris?
I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
We shouldn't
So leave it on the
ever
same.
have a negative on a line.
That's my concern is why are they
We should never have a negative on a line. Cause
administrative
claims shouldn't be paid if
expense
there's a zero.
grant?
What was this even be in our budget if it's all grants?
Yeah, and if it's cease isn't a county
We're doing the grant.
thing, right? So we should just give
administer
them
the
money.
grant, though. We administer the grant for them, I think.
I'm confused as can be on this one.
I can check into.
Just for a question mark on this budget to see what's,
Cause there's no, I mean, at this point, we're saying there's no county official overseeing a budget that we're setting. That seems really weird to me.
And that $600 line's what went in the hole, $6,000.
That's what I'm saying. How's that? Well, it says original appropriation was 4,000, that we added 600 to it. Then they had just took 4,000 out, moved it to the coordinator. So their 600 was left and they spent 6,800, but the coordinator's still there at 5,280.
So
Okay, on
The
your
county-
budgets, this was not advertised correctly during the budget last year. And that's where all the additionals came from. Those were done in January when we first came in to get it back up there.
I'm going to assume that maybe the commissioners, are the local administrating authority? Because it's under a drug-free community grant, but there's gotta be a local coordinator. So I'll have to look into the code on that one and
Let's
figure
figure
out.
that one out. We'll come back to it sometime.
Let's get EMA, whatever.
Are they up next? Yep.
Yeah.
Cause they're really
Look at that.
given by the state.
You didn't have to put the deed. We're already on it.
Hey, will you do me a favor before you come up here? Will you push that button? I'll have White do it then.
I'll do that. Well, but
On that thermostat looking thing back there, the black button, yeah, the black button on the top right.
Way to go, Joe. Ditto, brother.
I was in here fanning myself.
I know, I was like, ooh, it's fun. All right, let's
Well,
see.
sit by me then.
I smell good.
I probably don't.
I took a shower.
I didn't know
No, I
that.
don't think anybody said that here yet.
You guys have the 1152 fund, the sum out of 1170, county general, what other one?
Which would just be 1,000 for the EMA.
EMA. All right. You wanna do the EMA one first?
Yes.
So the 10% raises are in there, which I'll be honest with you, we ain't gonna go to 10%. We ain't got the money, but we'll try to do something. Other than that, office supplies was 500, cut a little bit, went to 300. Training stays at 300. Uniforms. Where is that?
It's not in there. I'm looking at it now.
So that wasn't last year, is that a new?
I think it's when you asked for an appropriation, and then you guys had put 1,000 in it.
Gotcha. So 400 will cover that. The total of all those is 1,000.
Yeah, I think there was 1,024,
Yeah.
and then we didn't have anything in 25, so we'd like to go a little bit in 26.
All right. Contractual services, that Nixle thing.
Yeah, it originally was being paid out from 911 side, but with it being an emergency alert system, I feel like it's more
Out of
common sense to be from the EMA side of things, which was 6,400 on their contract.
the cell phone, what it's listed as is telephone, but that's actually your Wi-Fi for them drones, right?
2 hotspots.
And that's 780. Travel expenses 700. Training and seminars 500. Training and exercise was. Do you have something planned for next year? That was 1,000. You're asking for 2. We haven't spent any of the 1,000 this year.
Well, obviously it's been a real inconsistent 12 months or so, but, we need to do a training exercise so that we can get LEPC money, so that we could, like, if we did a training exercise and do LEPC the way that we should be doing LEPC, like, it would more than pay for a $2,000 exercise.
Yeah, I can speak that there's been times in the past where we've actually lost funding through LEPC due to not having that training. So,
Which, if you don't use this year, and I mean, it's pretty much over, and I don't think your stability is going to get much better. So, that would kind of, if we did 2,000 next year, it would kind of be a wash because that'll revert back to the general, and then you would put this year's money and next year in next year, if that makes sense, I guess, looking at it that way. Vehicle repairs, I know you had to have some tires on that vehicle, and that almost bankrupted your budget, I think, but
Yeah, it's almost zero.
Well, I'm sorry, it was on no threats.
it still shows in here.
We
have it.
We
I
just,
was saying, I
just
just
did
submitted
the
it like
claim.
a week or 2 ago.
So moving that to
900.
15, I guess, you don't know if it needs anything, but as of right now, it's pretty decent.
I mean, it doesn't need anything today, but it's a 7-year-old vehicle that,
So do you think it'd be safe to go back to 1,000 and
Yeah.
save 500?
Because I don't think it's gonna need tires, so,
Again,
because I
right.
made this prior to the tire, getting tires put on.
Gotcha. Take that to 1,000. Fuel stays at 2,000. I know you haven't used a lot, but I guess it depends on where that vehicle goes. It could eat that up pretty quick. Do you guys want to leave it at 2,000, or
That's fine.
they currently have $1,675 left in their budget for fuel right now? So,
If we're cutting, we'll take it down to 1,000, by the way.
I mean, the only thing I will say about that, so I currently have a vehicle, basically just drive it to calls. I would assume a full-time director would drive it every day, so I would,
they basically ought to.
I mean,
drive
if-
the calls
if we
too,
have-
I guess.
if we have a full-time director, they'll probably come back and ask for more money, but, I mean, if you gotta cut
1,000,
somewhere, it's a
I
good
like it.
spot.
I'm with 1,000 with Collins. I like it. Equipment. Is that new, or is that the EOC sustainment is 2,000? What's the equipment line? We didn't have one last year, right?
Maybe not. I kind of try to go through like, what was 2023 and 24, kind of back and forth with those budgets. It's 25
Vehicle repairs to 1,000 and fuel to 1,000.
I'm texting it.
Copier or whatever.
Now we're talking about that.
I would just, I mean, we have some pretty expensive drones and radios and things like that. I mean, if we had equipment repair issues, I mean, I could see us chewing up $1,000 pretty quick, but I think this past year we had zero.
So do you want it to be like equipment repair?
I mean,
An equipment line's more like purchasing equipment. Do you have anything planned to purchase? Not really.
What do you do from a,
Or,
what's that line?
or do we transfer?
I don't want to speak for him, but when you talk about $1,000 on equipment, I mean, I'm thinking anything from reflective vests or, they're obviously gonna be out on emergency scenes, so I feel like $1,000 is,
Pretty
we
low.
probably ought to leave that, just in case, something happens. The budget I'm looking at, let's just say that, for safety concerns, if they need a helmet or a safety vest, I'm not seeing anywhere in this budget you could buy that outside of that $1,000.
Or the uniforms, but that's only $400, I think.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
they got uniforms in other funds, so.
even at that, you buy first responder gear, 1,400 combined would eat up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I mean, one cheap radio is $200. So, I mean,
All right, I think I'm good with EMAs. Anybody got any other questions?
I'm just curious, what, the EOC in the basement here, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
What's the sustainment? Is there subscriptions for things down there?
I think it is a fund for equipment for the room.
Because the state board of accounts uses it, if they break a chair or something, we gotta buy it.
Gotcha. Because I know you have
Furniture,
projectors
projectors,
and all that
computers,
stuff.
printers, there's a lot of stuff down there.
Gotcha.
Fair enough. Next one up I got is, the lit public safety for the 911 center. That's the one I'm missing.
So you don't want to do this?
Got the bounce.
Okay.
I don't want one of this.
Just moral support for this one.
We didn't take it.
That's it, the 1222.
You got that thing? Yes. One second. You're good. Told you, 30 pounds.
All right. And lit looks like, obviously the full-time dispatchers, I don't know what's gonna happen there yet. Group insurance, it stays the same at 138.6. Office supplies stays the same at 2,000. Postage is
Same.
100, it stays the same. Uniforms,
That's shirts, basically.
yeah, basically. Which is wearing apparel and uniform. It was 2,000. It's been back down to 1,300, a more reasonable number. Contractual services, that did go up, and it went up because of the additional appropriations that we've had to do here this year. The one was, if you guys remember, we did the 911 recordings, and then I think there's one other one, wasn't there, that we did?
I'm trying to
It's
think.
over on the right over here. It's
Yeah, I wrote them all
WTH
out.
mapping, 4,200. WSI is the recording software, right?
Yes.
14,365.
And I added Nixle just in case if it didn't get approved from the 1,000, so just to be safe, that way it was covered.
But if you guys, it makes sense to me to pay it out of EMA.
Do we just pay Nixle, is that what we do?
Yeah, so we pay on our contract, which is
The only
6,400.
reason I asked, an old timer, that used to be free, but that's apparently all.
Yeah, nothing's free anymore.
So we can scratch that one in this budget. The priority EMD is where, like, they're on the phone calls and it walks you through, like, medical stuff.
It's
right?
our contract fees to have the software of the EMD to do medical, sorry.
What's Thomas Shelby?
That is our chair contract.
Oh, the chairs.
Yeah, Picky Blinders.
And then police one is training, right?
Yeah, which that's something that possibly we could, it's just online training courses. I think most of the police departments have it. But that's something that we could look into, possibly eliminating it. So it's
How
just
often
extra
do-
training
How
for us.
often y'all use that?
Couple, well, not every month. How about that? So monthly, I try to issue trainings for the department. Most of the time it's through the EMD because,
They give you credits and everything, don't they?
yeah, you get like little certificate and stuff for your training, but on priority, police one. But I mean, it's not something that you have to have for that department, just something that they've always had in the past with training.
What we doing, why keep it or cut it?
I leave it alone.
All right then, it stays, I guess.
The next one, you
Look
said
at
take
it.
it
The
out?
guy wanted to cut everything.
Let's go back to the previous
Well,
budget.
It's going back to EMA, so yeah, you can cut it out.
No more than what it is.
The supervisor stipend is paid like when nobody's there, right?
That's a cell phone stipend
Cell phones.
for the supervisors. Usually it's the deputy director and both supervisors, just $50 a month.
And then dues and subscriptions, I think that was left off, wasn't it? We had to fund that early in the year.
Yeah, it's $750 for our Nino, which is the statewide 911 as well. Last year, we actually had some money left, so I went ahead and paid. So I just went ahead and put it on there, that way
Cause
we
it
have
was,
it.
I think it was left out of the 25
Yeah, it
budget.
was. But just in case, put 800, just in case if it did go up, there's a little bit of buffer.
Repairs and maintenance, that's up quite a bit.
Yeah.
$30,000,
What was it?
5,000.
Yeah, because that's where, because we're constantly paying ECS. That's where the issue was with this year. Because ECS does repairs, regular repairs for dispatch, and it's like 400, 300 each month.
I
Then
think
there
it
was another repair
It was
too.
inadvertently lowered to $5,000 by the previous
So-
director at budget time.
We're only halfway through the 5,000 that was there. There's 2,140. Do you think somebody could get by with 5 or 10,000?
Whatever, repair and maintenance. How much money they start the year with?
5.
I think that's where I put,
When you say $300 a month,
well, that, and then you got the
36.
repairs for our copier, because we have a different copier contract and stuff, but they just pay the repairs and stuff with that. I think that's what I included in it.
What do you think it would take to get somebody by?
15.
100 or 1,000? 15,000.
How do you get on, Sutter?
If it makes it feel better, it's 20.
All right. Equipment was 20,000 last year. You spent 16 of that. Do you think it stay at 20 or does it need to go up?
I think that's where, because one of them, one year it was on the 1222, then one year it was on the
Another.
1170, so I was just like, kind of confused on that one, so I'm just like, well, $40 just in case. You never know what's gonna break in dispatch.
What y'all thinking there? Keep it at the 20 it was this year or go
Well,
up?
she's at 16 already, and it sounds like 25 would cover it to me.
20, 25, 27, 26.
Yeah. Sold.
25?
I think so.
All right.
Works.
And the 35,002, you took that to 20?
15,
15.
And equipment to what?
25.
I mean, 20 might.
And then on the
See if
front
we'll
page,
move that off of
we
you.
cut the Nixle one out over here. Where's the Nixle going?
It's gonna
To the
be-
limit.
To EMA, to the,
It's already in EMA.
it makes more sense to pay it out of that because it's an emergency response thing.
Okay, so you did it.
All right, next up's your 1222 fund, which is statewide 911. Your IDAX coordinator, that's a preset thing. All your other salaries we'll have to figure out. Emergency compensation's 25.
What did they do on their part-time?
That's the same as I
I went up a little bit, just,
Longevity went up.
The longevity, will it stay the same now or will it change?
that's with 4 of us, because I've been kind of told that we have one employee who's been 25 years, and she come back.
You get it, if you're not gone too long, you get it back. It
Yeah.
doesn't
So I put
matter
her
how
on that
long.
to
Our
be
past
safe.
residents have been. It's not covered in our handbook, but what I was advised was, because we've done that before, if we don't do that now, we're looking at a lawsuit, so.
Nah.
Attorney fees.
Are you going back to the medical director thing or is Nick covering it?
You know, I'm not really sure. I did it just for our side. That's always been the 1,200. I feel like that's feasible for us to pay since they do sign off on our EMT stuff, so.
I know
to be fair.
Nick helped you out one time or helped the 911.
Well, no, we paid our portion, but he was just saying like next time, because you gotta do 2 different claims, one from us, one from him.
Travel and mileage is the same, training and seminars
Went down,
went down. I like it.
telephones are same.
Telephone's the same, it's just a contract. That's it on that.
You done?
Easy enough.
Yeah, pretty smart, what can I say?
Appreciate you.
Hey, you guys have a good one.
Let's go back to drug-free communities.
So. Lauren has put out all these.
You don't have to go back to the budget, but I'm gonna tell you what I know.
No, all right, tell me what you know.
The drug-free community is fairly intricate, so it's supposed to be run by a board. It's supposed to be administered by the auditor. There's supposed to be a plan submitted and to the county commissioners, and they're supposed to give it approved by the Criminal Justice Institute. And then we are responsible for appropriating the fund for certain items that are statutory. I don't think that's really an issue. It says we can't appropriate though unless the plan is sent to us. So I'm not sure, because I haven't been here for many, many years. I've been here for a couple. If we haven't, the criminal, so I'm assuming we have a plan that the Criminal Justice Institute has approved.
Now, I don't know about the criminal justice part. I don't know
It
about-
says we shall allocate it talks about, a county a fiscal body shall annually appropriate from the funds amounts allocated by the county legislative bodies for the use of persons, organizations, agencies, and political subdivisions to carry out the recommended action in the comprehensive drug-free community plan. For persons and organizations, 25%, for persons, organizations to provide intervention. So you have prevention and education services should be 25% of the fund, treatment and intervention, 25% of the fund, and then criminal justice service activities, 25%. And then the remaining 25%, to provide service and activities under 133 based on the comprehensive drug plan. So I guess the other 25% can be allocated any way we want in those other 3. But it has to be, it's fairly intricate the way that we're supposed to allocate that. It's the statute's got a lot of stuff in it. So, there's a lot of precursors, right? The commissioners tell us, it says right here that they're supposed to, allocate the amounts, the commissioners, and then we're supposed to appropriate it.
Interesting.
So I'm not sure, I would think that when we do what I would like to see, just to sort of cover my clients, but when we do the drug-free community is how the fiscal body has allocated it. Because we're responsible for making sure it gets appropriated, how they allocated it. Does that make sense?
How the executive body allocated.
Because I don't know, all you have in this is a coordinator position, cease grant administrative expense. I don't know that I can say my client's doing their duty of making sure it's allocated 25% to prevention, 25% to criminal justice, 25% to whatever the other one was, without seeing how they've allocated it. Does that make sense?
I will contact Carissa.
Okay.
And like I said, there's been plans sent over before. Let's make sure if ours is current, if we need another one.
Yeah, and that they see
Do we have-
CJI as.
Do we have a board or who sets that, the commissioner?
I believe the commissioners are using the cease as the board, but I'm not certain of that.
I don't think that's okay, because you gotta have a county appointed board.
County auditor shall administer the funds, expenditures shall be made in accordance with appropriations, surplus funds, prohibited uses.
Well, in my opinion, on them boards like that, when we issue money to them, there's no way for us knowing how that money's been spent. And for me, that's just, what are they doing with it? And they should be able to answer that question.
And I would agree with you if we were giving them $20,000 in a grant.
Yeah.
But if we're setting a county budget to be spent, that's different in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like that's, the county's managing a fund, right? Versus us saying, yeah, we allocate 20,000 to cease and Jennifer cuts them a check and we're done with it.
Well, I don't know how we can do our duty I don't know how the commissioners can do their duty of telling us how to allocate it with those 25%, within those 25% budgets. And I don't know how we can do our statutory duty of appropriating it in those buckets without something in writing. I mean, it's sort of I want to cover my client's butt to make sure we're meeting the statutory requirements. Now, the SBOA hasn't said anything, but we all know how I feel about that at this point in time. So I just want to be careful with it and make sure before we actually appropriate anything that it's meeting those statutory buckets. So you might have to get with Zach and have him look at the statute too. He's been.
What else are we gonna work on this? On the sitting down and cutting?
Well, that's what, isn't that what we got the rest of the day for?
I've gotta go back.
I'm fine, I can
I'm
stay.
gonna move out too. I thought it was gonna be done with me.
It don't
I
matter
just
to me.
booked I don't care. I booked
I'll
myself
cut
out all day
enough
for you.
for both of you.
Uh,
I'll cut enough for
Okay,
both
go
of you.
Hey, one quick question before you leave. What's the feeling on EMS? Are we gonna try and keep them in lit? Are we not? That's the next like big
What,
question.
Where are you gonna move
missing something? Why would you wanna do that?
Do what?
Lift.
Because we don't have any money. And you
No,
got
that's
2
what I'm
million.
asking. I wasn't sure what you was asking maybe.
So my question is, we have $2 million to make up because the sheriff's asking for 3 million out of special purpose. You have to move that somewhere because you only have 1,394,000.
Is that including the bond payment and everything too? Is that the 322,000, is that including it?
The 3 million,
Yeah, 3,222,000,
it's in there.
but the bond payment is in that as well.
It's in that, yeah.
Okay,
But I'm saying at that, you're only bringing in 1.394.
right.
That has to change. So if you're 345,000 is what Nick needs for EMS, are we going to fund that? Or are we gonna say, I'm sorry, you gotta figure it out on your own? I
don't see where we have any choice, guys, but to cut some of these things. We're either going to cut or we're going to borrow. I mean, is that not?
But I think in this situation, you're gonna have to do both.
combination of both.
Yeah.
I think
Well, what
on
you're saying is you're thinking that we may have to take EMA out of
EMS.
general or EMS, whichever E it is take some of it out of general. Can we take part out of each? I mean, to help us.
I don't think that's gonna solve
You're
the
already
problem.
3 million short in general.
The problem is, we're gonna have to remove some of the money that Nick's wanting.
Which isn't fair to Nick. I'll just put that on the table.
It's not, but it's not fair to our taxpayers to try to fund budgets with borrowed money either, more than we have to. I mean, it's obvious we're gonna have to borrow some money.
But I will also say, for $345,000, you couldn't touch an EMS. And if ours wasn't the way it is, I mean, you're gonna spend that in a month. You'll spend 345,000. Clark County spends more than 345 in a month. And that's all he's asking for a year.
Well, I would like to see, maybe next Friday, we're gonna meet again, is to have what we're gonna have left at the end of the year, if we can get that figured out, we're close, or an average close. We can put all that money together, then we can start going through and see what we're going to do, either on a bond or start, making cuts. I mean, I think that would be the smartest thing to do.
I think we all need to be sitting down here whenever we go through the sheriff budget, because we all need to agree that if we make cuts there or get sued again, we need to be on the same page. So I don't think that's fair to ask anybody to work on that one alone. Maybe that one is what we tackle next Friday when Paige is here to go through it with us. I don't think you got much of an option but to bond some money, because you're not gonna meet those numbers anywhere close to it. And I'm gonna be a pretty hard advocate personally for, we gotta do something for our employees that we didn't last year. I'm not even happy getting through 25 without giving them something. So I definitely am not gonna vote to go into 26 with another round.
I'm gonna be working 6, 8, and 9.
So we're basically $750,000 short. We're up to about, $14 million worth of ask.
So we got 6 there.
We're looking at a $4.5 million bond And not finding anywhere we're willing to cut anything.
Now, let me ask this controversial question. The judge asked yesterday to start up another recovery court.
I'm a hard no. Just my opinion.
But he's got 600, he's got $100-something to do it,
He did,
that he's gonna.
but is that a one-time thing?
I don't know.
No.
He did, yeah.
Or is that a
I know, I'm just saying-
reoccurring?
I'm just saying that's what he said.
Do we know, do anybody know that? Is that a reoccurring grant or is that a one-time grant?
I don't know.
I
I
don't know.
thought it was a reoccurring.
I think it's recurring, but
And another elephant in the room, did we approve asking to get into that grant?
No.
Because that generates employment, county funds. I think we have to approve requesting that grant. I don't remember holding my hand up to approve entering into it,
We did.
so.
do you wanna run through the rest of them? We didn't do guardian ad litem and CASA. That might be the only one. We did IT, we did probation, we did prosecutor.
Who's the guardian ad litem? Is that the court?
I think that's, yeah, but that's they have their own, they get a grant, right?
County match is 31,000.
We have to match the grant then?
What's the capacity grant? 13,411.
I'll have to,
And then we didn't do sheriff riverboat.
What's that
Okay,
one?
is this still recording?
yes,
Yeah.
it
Can we
is.
take a break, please?
Yep.
And we didn't do TIF district.
Sorry.
We're meeting in a quorum right now, so we have to.
My thoughts are doing some type of a bonus. And I don't know that we include elected officials in it for this year just because we're so tight on money. But I think all the full-time employees that worked, we try to figure out a way to give them some kind of a
Ones that didn't
bonus
get a
for
raise.
25. The ones that didn't get any kind of a raise.
We're gonna be doing bonuses with borrowed money. Am I right on this?
I don't know because I haven't seen the balance of the funds after appropriations are made.
Right.
Oh,
Next
Justin's
to
come back, so we'll be a quorum anyways, even if.
I mean, I think you gotta figure out what we got to work with. And I
I
don't
think we can
know.
do anything else without knowing what we have to
Yeah.
work with from this
Right.
year left
Yeah.
over
And I think that's what we
with the appropriations, all the appropriations.
can have that by next Friday.
We
That
can
would
do
be
that
great.
Friday, yes.
What time are we coming in here? 9 o'clock? Start in on?
You have to-
9 o'clock would be good for me next Friday, please.
All right.
What time?
9. I'll be here. That's fine. We can, you want me to do a Zoom?
I've got a doctor's appointment next Friday, guys.
All right. Well, I mean,
Times.
I don't know what time, but
you can come in and out, whatever, whoever can be here.
It is a doctor your heart, you know, so.
We'll record it and biggest thing's talking to Paige, figure out what these balances look like, what ideas they have to generate revenue. And we need to get a meeting scheduled for
well,
bond stuff for Bo Zellers.
whatever
I just texted her.
monies we're gonna bring back at the end of the year is gonna be minute at best. You know, you're not talking no money to make a difference.
Yeah, I think we're really gonna have to live within this.
I don't,
You're probably gonna have to move forward with the bond. I don't think that there's any doubt from the sheriff's, well, once we entered into the agreement with the sheriffs for 4.4.
You know, I don't think
We
you're
were
gonna
gonna
be
have
able
to
to
take
cut
it
anything
off.
off him.
I don't think you'll be able to go less than what you did in 25 because you've already signed an agreement saying you feel like that's reasonable to run the sheriff's department. So I think that's where you're at now.
Yeah.
Do you change the employees and give them a raise again in 26 or not? That's a question on the table because
I think-
They've got an automatic raise, don't
they don't have anything automatic. We signed an agreement for 25, nothing for 26.
I think we need to back up to what's
Don't
on that
have to
board
stand
right
if we
there
choose
The
not
behind
to.
us.
the metric, or whatever they call it, doesn't.
It doesn't have to if we choose not to.
I think so.
I
It's not
think-
in that agreement.
I will look at the agreement just to make sure.
I think
You know
if
me.
we back up on what it looks like we're gonna bring in for the year, we set our budgets accordingly, we make what cuts we need to make. Guys are not gonna be popular cuts. I ain't real worried about popular. And, if your sheriff decides to sue us again, he just decides to sue us again. But I can't sit here in good conscience and keep promising people to give more money than we have with borrowed money. I mean, that's just as absolutely ridiculous of a thing as I can think of we can do.
I kind of agree with Johnny as far as the sheriff's budget.
2025.
I understand we
Based upon the matrix.
Agreed to a 2025, but when you're obviously being cut by the state, I don't think that's a secret from anybody. So to go and cut every department in the county but his,
To the quick,
I understand last year we said that was a reasonable number, but I think we could all agree that all of our departments are working under a reasonable number. So when you start chopping them to say, well, we can't chop him because that'd be unreasonable. Well, it's unreasonable for all the rest as well.
Right.
And that's why I reflect back to, in theory, I wish we'd just send an email out to every department and say, cut 5%, come back and see us. Because guess what? That is fair. Granted, there is some departments that's not even physically possible because they're, the operations and funding. But at the end of the day, I agree with Johnny, I do not think it's acceptable for us to chop every single department but that one.
Here's what the agreement says regarding the matrix. It says, sorry. I was texting me. It says that for 2025, that we would agree to that, right? So it says, trying to find it again, sorry. There's a commissary report.
Yeah.
It
That
says
works
beginning
well.
June 1st, 2025 base rates shall be increased to 21.16 and base rates for sheriff shall be 26.54. All 2025 pay rates shall be based upon the matrix attached here too. Then it says the only thing that they put in, that we agreed to for the 2026 budget was to use the 2025 as a boiler and to work together and in good faith to timely agree to a 26 budget, which, and then it just says we anticipate would include $150,000 increase and provide adequate funding to increase all increased contractual cost, if any, for 2026. All pay increases or pay rates set forth in the 2026 budget, if any, shall be allocated and funded as necessary by monies from amounts other than the 26 general lit. So if they get raises, the only thing it says is in 26 is if there is a pay raise or increase, then it comes from somewhere other than the general, the lit, or the public safety budget, either of the lit budgets. So which I think that one, when we talked about this, we did not want to commit to anything for 2026. They want us to commit that it was going to go up 110. We said, no, we're not doing that. But also when we talked about raises, that's fine, but he's going to have to figure out where to pay the raise other than the general and the lit funds. So any raises that the sheriff's department gets, he's got to figure it out of his discretionary, which appropriately are called home rule funds. So he's got to figure them out of those funds. So, but it looks to me like nobody's getting a raise this year, including the sheriffs. I don't think we're obligated to the matrix for 2026. I don't think we're obligated to give them, I mean, it says right here, if any, will be allocated out of another fund. So I think the agreement itself contemplates there might not be any raises this
So
year.
basically make it a 1 year thing.
So I forgot, we had the jail in 2 places.
So
You might look at that again because that looks a little bit better
That
to
does look better.
work with. The biggest one that's over is the lit special purpose is over roughly $2 million. Other than that, everything else I think is you could about make it work in there.
I need to know, I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
No.
So Bo says that, they're drafting the ordinances for a bond and wants to know, she said we can speed up the time table if we need to. When do you want them to come in and present the ordinance on the bond?
The way this looks, the bond ain't gonna be that much money. If we have to
The
do.
bond's gonna be what the judgment is, 4.5 million.
Yeah.
Now, not saying you have to use it all this year, but that's what the bond's gonna be.
Would you rather him come in sooner rather than later? You want me to tell him to expedite drafting that and getting in here, or?
What do you guys think? Our next meeting's what, September 9th? Do you wanna do it then, or do you wanna try and do something quicker to get the ball rolling on this? We could do a special meeting the last week of August if you want, or the first week of September.
What I think is we're gonna end up funding a budget because we know we're gonna borrow $4.5 million.
I don't think so. I don't think
You
even
look
with the
behind you,
4.5
you're not
million,
that
you're not
far
gonna
off.
be able to afford to give raises and everything. You're gonna have to cut.
What?
We can't sustain it. We can't get
That-
4.5 million every year.
That up there, right there is with all the employees with 10% raises.
Yeah.
That can come off.
That can come off.
And then, so the first two lines. is
That's gonna be maybe
gonna
half a
be
million.
Okay, but now the other line, what's the D line? Or the C
I think you could make the first line with the 10% cut off.
Yeah,
The second line, we can make it work.
Yeah.
The third line, that's the sheriff jail.
yeah.
I think what we need to work on is another spreadsheet in that tab,
Minus the 10%.
minus the 10% raises and any of the cuts we've already agreed to without, you said you guys didn't want to fund the recovery court, so you could take out that 148. So maybe like if we cut everything we could cut, then this is where we're at, right? Don't make any changes to that. That's the request line. Go back. Undo that. That's the request line. Yes, I want to keep that sheet on that one as what was requested.
Alright.
So we know what was requested, and then we can do it with just, I think maybe the second sheet would be just with the 10%, making it just with the salaries in 26 set at the same thing as 25. And then maybe we go and make another sheet with those same cuts plus other cuts to other places in the budget.
And the other cuts we've made on paper is not on here yet.
Yeah,
Right.
this is what exactly was requested from the
Still-
general
and we're
limits.
gonna go from Jennifer, what we got next Friday.
Yes.
That we got left over, to potentially have left over, right back in.
If you send me that right there, I'll try to work on it through the week. I've got a really busy week. But I'll try to work on it before Friday and definitely get at least, if nothing else, the 10% numbers. But, we've went through a couple budgets and made some suggested cuts or made cuts while talking to department heads here, but I think that in the general and the two lits at least, we're gonna find that you're probably gonna wanna make other cuts too. So I don't know when, we could do that Friday and just sort of, do the spreadsheet on the fly, update it, but, you guys, we're in the same situation we've been in the last two budget cycles. We just can't, we're gonna have to not only make cuts to meet what we have coming in.
We're gonna have to spend some time, it's not gonna be just done in one day, it's
Yeah.
gonna have to have several days.
What time you talking Friday?
None.
I'll probably get here at 9. And, you guys can, we can come in. I can set it for a Zoom if you wanna
Well, I get off and,
come in, if you wanna watch that, whatever. Whatever you guys wanna do. I just know that was Paige's availability.
Well, I had
What
that
time
put
is
down
she
already.
Time your doctor appointment.
I'll cancel it.
Let me see here.
Well, you're not gonna cancel it, you're gonna reschedule it, right?
He'll try to cancel it and
I
Teresa won't
usually
let him.
cancel.
Teresa.
Right, which is why.
That's why I'm in the shape I'm in.
Right,
I'll
which is
call
why-
Teresa and tell me you need to reschedule.
Yes, which is why I'm saying you're not gonna cancel it, Johnny, you're gonna reschedule it. Because we need Johnny with his heart intact, not Johnny
Yeah,
with
she'll be
running
here
on
at 9.
cylinders.
On the 22nd.
It'd be recorded, won't it?
It'll be live.
Okay.
It'll be live.
Well, why don't you go
All
through
right.
your budget book and make
Appreciate it.
notes and suggestions and send them to one of
It's
us?
been fun, gosh.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
And
I mean, it's
if
not-
anybody looks through these things and makes suggestions or cuts or what you would like to see, send them to me and we'll voice them whether you're here or not.
Or don't do anything.
Yeah. And I think, we'll end up
Where's your dog?
more days.
Teresa told me. Like 4 hours, not do anything, but I may.
You have an emergency?
All day, maybe.
Well, I can send you a Zoom link if you want, and if you can get on, you can get on. Why don't you have Andrew create the Zoom?
I can do that.
I mean, I can create a Zoom for him, but it's not gonna go up there, so.
That just has its own destination that you create it to now.
I mean,
Do you want to end the meeting?
Yeah, we can end it for now. We're done.
I'll try to do, I'll take this and I'll do some work on it as I can too.
Yeah, I will too.
Well, you and I just do that.